Hi, everybody. Long time no see. If you're just joining us into Night Court, welcome. Night Court is in session. I always forget in the beginning. Sometimes I forget at the end, but I have it, and so I'm using it now. First off, thanks so much to RA and Weather Watch for having Brandi and I on the pod just 45 seconds ago. So thank you very much. That was a lot of fun. And if you missed it, go back and watch the replay on RA's channel. You should do that when we're done here. Or, when you wake up the next day, because who knows when we'll be done here. So thank you very much for that. And thanks for showing up and being here, everybody. I really appreciate that. Brandi, how are you?
It's Friday. I'm good. I had a great afternoon because we ended up we stopped a little bit early today because my kid was off work and he cooked lunch and he brought it to me. He brought me tacos. And so I was like, you know what? He's off work and there's not a live trial right now. So I ended the day early and got to spend time with him, which was really cool. So, and I got Miss Lucy a whole bougie setup at the request of some of the day court members, the day courters. So we now officially have a Lucy cam.
Yes, I'll add it. Everybody, thank you for telling me that I'm blurry. I'm gonna blame it on the fact that there's like 2 or 3 TVs that are streaming, and I'm trying to make sure that stops eventually. But sorry in advance. Yeah, it'll go back. It'll get better. It's Lucy.
Lucy girl. Now this is under my desk because this is where she sits all day. Her little ponytail. So I put drapes in and her little furry rug in her bed, and she's got her own little gnome down there. Thank you, Weather Watch.
Oh, she's good. Thank you.
Hi.
And RA, thank you very, very much.
Thank you, RA.
Thank you.
We had so much fun over there.
We did. I like doing those kind of things just because you just learn new things about everybody. That's my favorite part. I didn't know that you ran a bridal store. So pretty much up for sainthood having to deal with all of that.
You have no idea.
Nope.
Almost as bad as the trolls. Almost as bad as the Melly trolls. So almost. Maybe not. No, not at all.
Well, let's real quick do our top 3, shall we? Because I actually got it together. I was multitasking while you guys didn't know it. All right. Let's see here. Oh, Lucy, you can be a part of it too. Ricky Watson, congratulations. Fluffy butt. Wendy, don't have a hard time getting out of that stuff being big. Comes with a complimentary plastic cover because I have no idea who's doing what anymore. But we like to stay safe. is really what it comes down to. Thank you all so much for coming in real fast and fast and furious and being the top 3. Really appreciate that a lot. So congratulations to you. Yes, Dean, he does eat the bottom of his drumstick first. And then it melts, and then what he does is he blames it. Well, he gives it a talk, and he talks about, Martin Luther King and Jesus, and, he tells that drumstick just how much it should have held up.
Ugh.
So that's where we're at.
John Thomas. Sit down, John Thomas.
Sit down. Oh, goodness gracious.
Hey, something else.
Oh, I've been so all over the place this week. I haven't gotten a chance to watch much of what you're covering, which I always feel terrible about. Which is why I love when you come on in the beginning of Night Court, because I can ask you what the heck is going on in the world during the day.
So much. Today was one of those real busy days. We had the Melly hearing first thing in the morning, and so they changed his new trial date. He is going to be his new trial instead of the 2nd. Stu's wife has planned them a vacation, so he needs to postpone it a week. So it's going to be on instead of the 2nd, it's going to be on the 9th, whatever that next Monday is. And then so we did that, and then we did the press conference for the Gilgo Beach murders. I was so grateful for the families. They were able to identify Jane Doe number 7, who Fire Island Jane Doe, who for so many years they have not known her identity. So her dad had filed paperwork long ago because he couldn't find her. He had to actually file the paperwork to have her declared dead, and that just is so sad to me. So I know that this is a tough day for them, but I am glad that the family is able to now properly mourn her. So that was a huge deal. So we watched that, and then the rest of the day we did. I don't even know what we did. We did a whole lot. We watched Piketon and talked football, and I don't even know. We went off the rails today, but it was fun.
Having days like that are so important, though, because some of the stuff that we cover and that you cover on the daily can get pretty dark pretty fast.
Yeah.
While I have everybody here, if anybody wants, heads out in a little bit, I want to let you guys know that we have a thanks to our lovely mods. I'm missing a couple of things here. Why am I missing a couple of things? Nope. Yep, that'll work for now. Thanks to Cajun for putting this together. We have ourselves a link tree. And not only that, but it's literally your one-stop shop. You can actually save this to your home screen on your phone. Comes up like an app, and you can go to this at any point with one click. And it gives you the playlists that we're working on, what we're covering currently, my sidebar series, your invite to the Jury Room Discord, which is the Discord for community of 13th Jurors, just to hang out and have fun. They cover, they're doing watches of just a lot of different things, documentaries, and I think Schitt's Creek is one of them. And then finally at the very bottom, we have voting for the next Night Court case. And so if you click on that, you'll come up with a vote, and it's Chandler Halderson or Joel Guy. Right now, Joel Guy is up with 55% of the vote. We will not be claiming that the election was stolen. So whatever happens, but we're going to be closing this out next Wednesday, I think. So get your votes in now. And that will determine what I cover next on Night Court, which I'm very excited about and happy for. So I'm sure one of our mods dropped the command in the chat to go to it, but definitely add that. And join us on Discord too, because we have a lot of fun. And somebody's asking who's Joel Guy. Chandler Halderson and Joel Guy kind of had the same crime-ish type thing in which the parents were the target, and there was a lot of shabusiness going on in in his case. So yeah, that's the best way that I can say that for now. I don't want to give it away. If one of our mods can drop in the is it working? We were having a hard time with the whole commands thing earlier.
Oh yeah, they weren't working. I'm not sure.
I don't know if they're working now. Trying to figure this out as we go. For some reason, they were turned off, and I think it was because I was fiddling around with Streamlabs last night for streaming. But if it doesn't work, oops. I will figure it out. I'm trying to think of where you can go. Oh, you can go to either Brandi or my they're not coming up. Okay. Whoops. You can go to Brandi or my Twitter. I think our links at the top of our profiles are both the link tree. So you can go there that way too. Oh boy, Streambot or Streamlabs. Sorry, everybody. Well,
yeah, I've been having issues with StreamYard, so we were going to try Streamlabs or whatever it is, and so stuff has got
turned off
temporarily.
Again. I don't know why.
Temporarily.
Yeah.
Whatever. So we'll figure it out.
Well, sorry in advance, mods, again. But thank you for copying and pasting. We're going back to whatever the equivalent of the Stone Age is. So Lucy's back.
Look at her little nub wagon. Now she's playing with her toy. Look, this is what I deal with on a daily basis.
You need to have her play with the toys like whenever trolls show up and just be like, "That's you." That you should get her a troll. You should get her a troll toy so that whenever they show up, you give it to her and she's just like. Just saying.
Look at that face. She's
okay. The link
chewing
works.
on a piece of,
good. Thank you.
Chewing on a piece of bone, not real bone, but dang, I got my camera set up and now it's going to be. See, this is all like literally under my desk, so it's like you have like this, her cute little hangout right here, and then there's like a wire right there, so like it has to be. And I've messed it up, but that's okay.
Yeah, this is one of those things with Chandler and Joel where, one wins, well, then it doesn't mean we can't do the other one. We just get to the other one after that. This first case, just like with Valo, this first case of doing Jodi for Night Court was a choice. It was a choice that I made. But yeah. We are 13 days into Jodi's testimony. We've got one more day across, then 2 days of redirect, then 3 days of jury questions. So it's been a marathon.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's got one over here. I think that's the only one she's brought me. But I don't know. Now that I've got her little setup down here, I might start getting less. She's been sleeping more. Like, well, not necessarily sleeping, but since I put her little bed under here, she's been napping there more. But so she's been bringing less. But I still get about 2. Is kind of the average, 2 before lunch and then 2 after lunch. So she's funny. She's a funny little thing.
Lynn, I am too. I'm ready for the basket. I'm ready for the question basket, and I'm ready to see how she handles those. Yes, it is. I like jumping into the deep end. It's what I do. I've never done anything the easy way. That's for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wants to know how old Lucy is.
She just turned 4 years old. On June 3rd was her birthday. She turned 4 years old. We had a birthday party. So she's a Weedle Beady thing. She has right now it's one of those fake rawhides. Like it's supposed to look like rawhide, but it's not actual rawhide because I don't want to. I mean, I'm not going to give her. She's too little. I don't want to give her rawhide. But it's like one of those little things that like looks like it. It's like the little organic granola version or whatever. So she's got that thing and she is going to town on it right now. And then she's got her little lamb chop. I don't know if you can see over here. It's her little lamb chop. And then of course she's got her gnome. So, Elaine Warnos. That was a good one.
She was. That was filmed. That is on my list. We just done Jodi, so we need a little bit of a break from that stuff. But thanks. I do too. I love having these.
Stop!
Oh, Megan, yeah. It's exactly how I feel sometimes. Also, I'm always looking for suggestions. So if you have suggestions and you have links to the full trials, you can always send them to my email, which is jt@13thjurorpodcast.com. So I'm always looking for that kind of stuff. In addition, while you're here, if you happen to have, I mentioned this on RA's channel, if you have music, if you have art, if you have poetry, if you have like an Etsy or a Redbubble, whatever you have, if you have something, email me the link or email me files and I will preview it and check it out. Not that you would send me anything bad, but preview it and check it out. And then if I can, I'll bring it onto at least Night Court. For instance, Kelly P, she has a Redbubble and we showed some of her stuff and there was so much interest, we just created a command for her. So, when you're interested, this is one of the things that I want to do. This is one of the things I want to do. And so hopefully I can bring some attention to really good artists. We can do that. We can have a section of the website. We got to get that section for the mods put up.
Yes.
Which means
I've been waiting patiently. They don't want to send stuff in.
No, that's on me. They did send some most of them sent stuff in, and then we have our new mods too. So we'll get there. Life happened. We started moving the channel and doing things, and I feel bad, but here we are.
What are you getting feisty for?
Yeah. Feisty.
She's going to town on this little fake rawhide thing. People keep asking me for a Lucy cam, so I finally did one. And I've seen a couple people have said to have her do her own thing. People have asked like if I can just leave a camera on her just so they can see her. And the problem is she will not. Like if I'm doing something, she won't just stay there. So it would likely just be an empty spot while I'm walking around and she's trying to follow me, because she won't really. I'm trying to get her on there, but she's whatever. If I mess with this camera too much, it's going to fall. But she follows me around. She's like my little shadow. So she could have her own channel if she would sit still, but she doesn't.
Interactions. How do you mean? If it was about something we just talked about, I can't remember what I just talked about. So let me know. Crystal, if you send it to JT@13th, that's 13th jurorpodcast.com, that's where you can send it. So feel free to send on. Yeah. Boy, oh boy.
I have a lot to do on the website. There's things that I need to add. And I need to find out my password is. I have it saved, but I don't know it. So I was hoping I could give it to people who are more talented than me at everything and let them help us out too. But I would love to have a section on there where we can, support our members, and I love your idea with, art and things like that. And like even my cup, right now it's over there in the dish rack because I've washed it because I use it every day. But like, I mean, even my cup, like how amazing is that? Like that, like, and then I have my little pen holder right here. Like, stuff like this, like, the stuff that's made like I love getting these surprises, but also like everybody else needs the chance to get them too. I love the idea of being able to have something on the website that can support our people who do such great work because we love y'all.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, Lisa. Yes, it does. It does indeed. Oh, interrogation is what you mean. When do we hold on? I can't remember the original message. Oh, can we see interrogations? Interrogations of like Jodi. We did watch the Jodi one for sure. If we have an interrogation, I usually try to. Somebody asked me also, what's my YouTube channel? My YouTube channel is called @Brandi Churchwell, and it's 13th Juror. I have an account that I comment using, but there's nothing on there. Maybe one day, but I try to keep up with this one. Oh, interrogations instead of trials? That would be a lot of fun. It would be really cool to have like an interrogation night and watch interrogations. That's a really good idea. That's a really see, I have this lovely notebook here, and it's full of ideas that you all give me. So which this page is blank because I filled up another page. But having a night of interrogations would be a nice thing. Maybe we'll do that between the two trials.
That'd be cool.
So really, yeah, that would be really fun. I in the last sidebar I covered Shayna Hubers, and one of the things that I definitely wanted to make sure of was that her interrogation got included. And
what a crap show that was. That was in Cincinnati. And so it was one of those things. It was like, because what year did that happen? I can't remember. I just watched this 2 days ago. What year was the murder?
It was 2013. I think
that sounds right. I
think it was a couple months before the trial. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a couple months before the 2012.
There you go. So when I saw that, because I'd been told about her by, I think I'd seen it on, how like you'll see something on somewhere, and then as somebody's telling you, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I've seen that. So then I watched like a Dateline episode on it or something, and I was watching it with some of my friends when I was in Ohio, and they were like, oh yeah, this heifer is nuts, and but I guess she's from Cincinnati, so some of my friends that I knew in Ohio that were watching that episode with me, I guess either knew her or like not like friends with her, but like kind of like hung out in same groups or something, and they were not fans, but they said that the way that she was in the interrogation, like her demeanor and like the just selfishness and stuff, that like that's just how she was in general, that she was like crazy and stuff. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, she is definitely the poster child for a lot of different things. None of them good. Really not at all. There's a reason why I covered her on my very first podcast, True Crime Lab, and it's because of the ridiculousness of the whole thing, and just what she thought she could get away with because she was too smart, but she wasn't.
Yeah.
So
yeah, worst interrogation ever, or best. I mean, however you want to look at it, but just the I did it. I did it. Oh my gosh, she's bless her heart. She's something.
Amazing Grace.
Jodi
she does have a good voice. And yeah, for real, she does have a good voice. I mean, and she did go to school for voice. It's just really sad that now she has to sing in, a cell with terrible reverb. So that's on her. She can join the jail's American Idol just like Jodi.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
Is Dr. G in here? Somebody said hi to Dr. G, and I was wondering if Dr. G was in here. I was scrolling through looking. Or somebody just said, hi, Dr. G, for funsies. Last night I was doing, is she actually getting out? Is this established? Because I don't like it. I know she's up for parole, but she has life with possibility, I believe. So hopefully not. Yeah, last night I was streaming with Terry on the other the other channel I have, which y'all can go there, search True Crime and Wine Time and hit subscribe. We're just starting out, and it's another live channel. We'll be live streaming like the Perfect Crime, like we've been doing, and then also we'll be recording our podcast live as well. But we had started, and then all of a sudden, in bursts Law and Crime. I don't know if you saw this. Did you see this?
Yeah.
I was like, what happened? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't know what to make of it, to be honest. But
I know. I saw that, and we were all like, it was like the equivalent of like, because even though we're in chat, I pictured all of us like looking around like, did you invite them? Did you invite them?
I'm surprised. Yeah, just surprised. Oh wait, you read her whole profile where you chat with her and email her. Oh well, I mean, let me know. I mean, I think, isn't it her earliest release date, not her actual release date, right? Oh God. I'm now I'm really concerned, to be honest with you. I'm really concerned. I need to know. Her right of prisoner profile is a dating app, is what it is.
Yeah.
Earliest, it's not release date, it's earliest release date is September 11th, 2032. That's the earliest she could possibly be released. I feel a little better. Good grief. Okay, so September 11th, 2032.
God,
what worried.
What a amazing grace. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think that I have a setting where I have a thing where when I sing, it makes it sound good. And I bet I could sound like her. Hold on, let's see. Soundboard. Where is it? Voice box. This is all on my fancy new thing. There was a whole thing where I can make myself sound good. I don't know how to do it.
If you get it to work before I do, I'm gonna be real sad.
Let's see. Oh, there's underwater.
That's fun. I don't know. I'll never figure it out, to be honest with you. One day.
Hello.
One day. Okay.
Hello. Does this do anything? Cartoon Man? It's not sounding different.
No, it doesn't sound different, and I need to figure out how to do it. It makes me very sad that I can't figure it out.
I'm gonna find out,
and
then I'm gonna sing like Jodi and Shayna and Brittany.
Oh, auto-tune. Do you believe in life after love?
I'm so mad. I want to find it.
There you go.
Where is? I'm like, oh, I could have a career as a singer, y'all. No, I couldn't.
Oh, thanks, Regina.
Oh, we are glad y'all are here.
For sure. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else. Oh, I ordered, for those of you following my mascot adventures, which is literally nobody, but I'm going to tell it anyways. Friday was the hottest day on record that I've ever mascotted in 16 years. It was most assuredly 115 to 118 in the suit, and that was fun. So I gathered myself up, and I got one of those neck fans that I hope fits in the suit. I feel like it's just going to blow hot air, but we're going to see what happens. So here's hoping. But I say that to say this. I got my buddy's book in the mail as well, which is it's the book adaptation of the musical Jagged Little Pill. And my buddy Eric Smith wrote the novel version of Jagged Little Pill, and he wrote it with Alanis Morissette and Diablo Cody and Glen Ballard. So give it a look see. He's a good guy. So that's another way that you can support.
That's cool. I love Alanis.
Yes. Last night I told us, or was it Wednesday? Wednesday I told a story about how I was in a group of people as a kid and I was trying to sound cool and I totally said her name wrong and I called her I called her like Alanis Moreno. It was like Alanis Moreno. And I was so embarrassed after I did it, but
it's more sad.
She can be Alanis Moreno. Why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, look, it won't be the first names we've gotten wrong.
It's a cornucopia and a marketplace of names. You just pick one, and it'll work. It'll work.
Yeah.
The book is ironic. You're right.
Isn't it ironic?
No, he's really good.
Let's think.
It's
like rain.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm looking.
Y'all, I'm actually really excited because I forgot all about that. I'm supposed to be able to do voices and stuff. And I'm like, this is going to be amazing because I think I'm about to launch my singing career, y'all. My album drops as soon as I figure out how to work this thing. As soon as I figure it out.
It looks like they are still at the Broadhurst Theater. They're also touring, so there's that as well. But yeah, I enjoy it. I do know my face is blurry. I'm sorry. I've got kids that are watching movies and stuff. So as soon as I go to bed, it'll get better. I apologize, everybody, for that. Apparently,
but until then, watch
Brandi,
Lucy. But she gone.
Yeah, Brandi portaled her internet issues over my way, and then her internet got fixed. So
my bad.
I'm just all came my way.
So you're saying you didn't like my singing? Is that what you're saying? Chunka Vegas said you can get Track to be your manager. No, thank you. No, thank you. Every day I'm scruffling. Every day I'm scruffling.
Every day
y'all,
I'm
I could
scruffling.
totally release an album. Totally.
100%. You record it. I'll master it. We'll get it out there. It's like rain. John Thomas goes to the games just to sucker punch the kangaroo mask. If I had $1 for every time a kid pulled my tail, that's all I gotta say. If you are a parent and your kid is at a sporting event and there is a mascot, will you please keep an eye on your child? Because I'm just trying to do a job, okay? And I love kids, but if they follow me around and tug on me, I'm absolutely going to accidentally twist my tail in their face. So just
and they're like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oops, my bad."
No. They laugh. They think it's funny. It's really funny to get hit in the face by a fuzzy tail, I guess. Also, if your kids are scared of mascots, don't shove them in my face. Unless you never want to go to Disney World ever. Don't ruin it for them, please. There's 2 lessons for you from a mascot.
There you go.
Yes, justice for mascots. The thing you didn't know you needed.
There you go.
What?
I'm gonna skip on that one.
Yeah.
I'll wait to be discovered before I.
Are you kidding me?
before I can.
You just need to go by Churchwell. It's like the perfect name for everything.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Who wants a live stream of me being a mascot? It would be so much fun to live stream from like a GoPro on my chest while I mascot. That would be a lot of fun. If I could get away with that, I totally would. 100%.
If we could get you like a hidden, I just fed you. You can calm down. I'm with friends right now. She is a sassy little thing. She's over there hitting her bowl again. She did this earlier when I was on stream. She'll hit her bowl with her foot and then look at me like, are you going to feel it? Like, it's not going to feel itself. Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Lay down. That's what I thought. Lay down.
Somebody wanted to see the suit. And so while we do that.
Look at that bad dog.
Open it up.
Let's see if I can get this. I don't move a wire. There we go. Bad dog.
There you go. There I am.
Show them how you do them splits in those costumes.
I mean, I can show a video of the splits if people really want to see it.
I can't like it hurts me. Watch it.
I mean, yeah.
Like
it's not as easy anymore. This was a long time ago, but you're just going to have to give me a break on this one. Oops. I'm actually going to mute that because I'm afraid we'll get canceled.
Look at that.
Get kicked out of Russia is what we'll do. Yeah. Nothing's changed. At all. Oh, man. The good
Except
times,
for now you do it. Ow! Ow! Oh. Except for now you do it. Lucy's looking at me. Sorry, I wasn't talking to you. It's okay. I wasn't talking to you. Except for now you do it in wigs and not big masks and costumes. Like I'm impressed. That's talent.
Yeah. This is exactly why when you accidentally asked me about the wigs, I was like, I've got one and I have no shame. And so now the wig wall exists.
Look at
I don't know if you heard, Brandi, but I've got a brand new one coming. Thanks to Terry. She bought me a pink one.
I heard that. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to screenshot that. Why are you staring at me? I'm not feeding you right now.
I will too.
I'm not feeding you right now.
I think it's probably about time to get into Jodi. Jodi's try. I've done this 3 times in a row. I have not finished the sentence with trial.
Phrasing?
And
Phrasing.
Every time I say get into Jodi, and it's the most embarrassing thing in the world. I'm waiting for somebody to clip it like Tayo toys and use it against me somewhere. So,
that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Yes, Lucy, was that a viral video? If it was, it sure doesn't show it on statistics. She wants another taco.
She does.
Mm-hmm.
We ate them all.
Mm-hmm.
Look how cute she is, though. I love the Lucy cam idea. Lucy is looking up like she's waiting for JT to reach down and pet her. Oh, it does look like the camera angles. It does look like she was looking for you. Oh, did he ignore you? She is.
I'm not ignoring her.
She's so funny. She's a funny little thing. I'm going to let y'all.
We have not named my wigs.
Oh, you need to, because some of them don't get along. Yeah.
I'm probably going to take a picture. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture.
Go ahead. You're going to take a picture in what?
Oh yeah, I was gonna take a picture and then I'll draw like letters on it and then I'll post it on YouTube and then you all can like identify the names by the letters and then tell me what you would name them. That'll be fun. Yes,
yeah,
one of
that'll
them
be a
is
lot of fun.
Karen. That is sure. This one, they.
Oh my Lord.
It's the most Karenest wig that ever existed. I actually bought it just for that purpose. So, yep. Here it is. This is Karen. Am I
What's the
frozen? I'm so sorry, everybody.
what's the girl on Scooby Doo?
You talking about Thelma?
Yeah.
The one who's always looking for her glasses?
Yeah. You're giving me Thelma vibes right now, and I love it. I love it.
Jinkies.
I have, I told you I found my Halloween wigs.
I
We'll have to do a wig
know.
night.
You had mentioned sending me some.
Yeah, we'll have to do a wig night. Velma. Yes. Totally giving Velma vibes. I like it.
Good night, Ricky.
Alrighty, y'all. Good night, Ricky Watson. I am going to, me and this little heifer are going to bow out for the night too. It has been a long day. Look, I called her heifer and she looked up at me. I love Lucy Cam. This is great.
I do too.
Oh,
she said what?
So we are going to bow out for the night and let you have your private time to get into Jodi, as you said. So you go ahead and handle that one. Y'all,
he retracted that too on YouTube. No,
not me.
Not
I
at
showed
all.
it.
Not in the
That's
slightest.
funny.
Sorry. Well,
this chat just goes wherever. All right, y'all. I am going to bow out for the night. What you jumping for? Did I get too loud? I saw we. So say goodnight to Lucy, and we are going to go lay it down for the evening. I love y'all. We start our new trial next week. Big week. We got a lot going on. So I'm going to rest up now. So enjoy, and I will see y'all later. And say bye to Lucy. Bye.
Bye, Lucy. She can't hear me. But bye, Lucy. Oh, she's looking at me, though. Oh, no. Now she's gone. Oh, well. If Lucy was going to stay there all night, I'd be like, well, Brandi can go to sleep, but then she just has to leave Lucy Cam up. But, and she's still just kind of hanging in the background. Oh, she just left now. Well, good night. Good night. Don't go. All right, let's, oh, Peter, are you going to bed too? Good night, Peter. Don't go as well. All right, we're going to get this started. We started late and it's 9:52 and holy smokes. Also, I definitely need to be on the other side here. So I'm going to fix that real fast. Thank you for your patience in advance. Also, sorry to blow in the microphone. My bad. Okay, here we go. Let's do it.
Correct?
Correct.
How long does that take in terms of time?
That one took a while because it took him some time to bring up some of the images or find the disk drive on his computer. I don't remember the exact time, but it seemed to take forever.
So how long is a while to you?
I don't know. It just seemed like it dragged and dragged while he went looking for the disk drive, and I was just laying on the floor with Napoleon.
Are we talking hours? What are we talking about here?
I wouldn't say hours. It just felt like a lot longer than it should take to pop a CD into the computer and bring up some photographs that are on the CD.
So it was just one CD that was popped into the computer, right?
There were 2 CDs.
And there was this issue involving the 2 CDs, and then you and he had some sort of intimacy after that, correct?
Yes.
And the intimacy that you had after that, it was not a situation that it was unwanted by you, correct?
That's correct.
It was something that you participated in willingly, correct?
Yes.
And then after that, at some point, Mr. Alexander goes to take a shower, correct?
Yes.
What did he do after the intimacy was done? Did he go anywhere? Did he do anything before he went up to the shower?
I'm not sure what he did because I left the room to go to the bathroom across the hallway.
And so you went to the bathroom across the hallway, and after using that bathroom, you came back out, right?
Yes.
And when you came back out, was Mr. Alexander in the office?
Yes.
And how long was he in the office before the two of you went somewhere else?
A few minutes. We went upstairs
And you went upstairs to do what?
to take photographs.
And so you're telling us that he agreed with you to take photographs, right?
Yes.
Do you remember that you had a conversation with the detective and that you told a different story?
No.
Well, let's listen then. Move for the admission of Exhibit 503.
503 is admitted.
Afternoon. I just, he had been cleaning his house. So I wasn't sitting on the couch. Usually I would just chill on the couch downstairs, if no one was home. But he had like chairs and all that stuff all over the couch. He was cleaning the floors or something. Fed Napoleon. I don't know if he made phone calls or not, or what he was doing on the internet, but at one point he was going to go up and take a shower, and it took a lot of convincing prior when he was shaving. I was like, I got some ideas, and they didn't turn out good at all, not like I wanted to. But I thought that I could get some cool pictures of him shaving. It's because he does the whole old-fashioned thing with like this little, I don't know how it works. He liked it though, apparently, because he used it for his profile picture on MySpace. So those are drugs good. I was gonna do that again later, but I asked him if I could do pictures of him in the shower, and he's like, no. I was like, I just have an idea. I have a couple ideas. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And I said, I have this, I saw this thing in a Calvin Klein ad once that looked really good. And so he was, you're right, he wasn't very comfortable at first. He's standing there and he's all, I feel gay.
And so it took a lot of convincing for you to get him to take those photographs, right?
Yes, I was talking about a prior incident.
Ma'am, it does indicate that it took a lot of convincing for you to take those photographs of him, correct?
Yes, but not on June 4th.
Ma'am, the photographs that I was asking you about in the shower were the ones involving, or that you were asked about on direct examination, involved him taking a shower on June 4th. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That's the same thing that we're talking about here on June 4th, isn't it?
No, that's the distinction. We had discussed the shower photos long before this.
So you're saying that when you told that to the detective, you're talking about something totally different other than June 4th?
A conversation that occurred before June 4th.
Ma'am,
Yes.
well, I'm asking you if the conversation that you're having there with the detective, is it in reference to the June 4th, 2008 photographs, yes or no?
Yes, in an indirect way, it obviously is because the photos
Ma'am,
exist
yes or no?
because he agreed to do it.
Ma'am, yes or no?
I said yes.
So it does refer to the photographs on June 4th, 2008 then, right?
Yes, but not the
And
conversation.
ma'am, my question is, after that, it does say that it took a lot of convincing to get him to have those photographs, right? Yes or no?
That's correct.
And it also indicates that at the time he was shaving, right?
No.
It doesn't indicate that he was shaving before he took the photographs?
No, that was another incident.
Well, let's take a look at what it says again, all right?
Oh, yes. Let's play it one more time.
Afternoon. I just, he had been cleaning his house. So I wasn't sitting on the couch. Usually I would just chill on the couch downstairs, if no one was home. But he had like chairs and all that stuff all over the couch. He was cleaning the floors or something. Fed Napoleon. I don't know if he made phone calls or not, or what he was doing on the internet, but at one point he was going to go up and take a shower, and it took a lot of convincing prior when he was shaving. I was like, I got some ideas, and they didn't turn out good at all, not like I wanted to. But I thought that I could get some cool pictures of him shaving. It's because he does the whole old-fashioned thing with like this little, I don't know how it works. He liked it though, apparently, because he used it for his profile picture on MySpace. So
Top 10.
those interrupts goes into
You in
that
his
again
top
later,
10?
but I asked him if I could do pictures of him in the shower, and he's like, no. And I was like, I just have an idea. I have a couple ideas. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And I said, I saw this thing in a Calvin Klein ad once that looked really good. And so he was, you're right, he wasn't very comfortable at first. He's standing there and he's all, I feel gay.
And ma'am, you heard the conversation in which you said that it took convincing, correct?
Yes,
And you indicated that he was shaving prior to these photographs being taken, right?
yes, months prior.
Ma'am, did you hear on that tape that it said he was shaving, right?
Yes,
And ma'am, one of the things that we know from what you told us previously was that, do you remember the situation of you being tied up to the bed with this rope? Do you remember telling us that?
yes,
And do you remember that you told us that he was engaging in performing oral sex on you? Do you remember that?
yes,
And do you remember that you said it was stopped because it was uncomfortable? Do you remember saying that?
yes,
And the reason that it was uncomfortable that you said was because he hadn't shaved that day. Do you remember that?
yes.
And so he hadn't shaved that day, had he?
No, he
On the
didn't.
day that you killed him, he hadn't shaved yet, right?
I don't think he shaved it all that day.
You don't think? Well, then let's take a look at Exhibit 159. All right, take a look at the Exhibit 159 that's behind you. You see that?
Yes,
Looks like he's shaved, doesn't it?
it appears that way, yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like he's recently shaved, doesn't it?
It does look that way.
And you were talking to Detective Flores about him shaving prior to the photographs being taken, weren't you?
Yes, but not this day.
Ma'am, you did indicate in this excerpt of your conversation with the detective that it involved that there was this shaving before these photographs were taken. Do you remember talking about it on the excerpt?
The shaving photo shoot, yes.
Do you want me to play it for you again so you can hear what you say about the shaving previously?
No, thanks, I know what I said.
Well, it appears that you're having trouble acknowledging what you said. In it, you talk about him having to be convinced, correct?
Yes,
And one of the things that you said was that you convinced him while he was shaving, correct?
no, that's not correct.
Well, let's listen to it again, okay?
Afternoon, I just, he had been cleaning his house. So I wasn't sitting on the couch. Usually I'd just chill on the couch downstairs, if no one was home. But he had like chairs and all that stuff all over the couch. Like he was cleaning the floors or something. Fed Napoleon. I don't know if he made phone calls or not, or what he was doing on the internet, but at one point he was going to go up and take a shower. And it took a lot of convincing prior when he was shaving.
Did you hear that? It took a lot of convincing prior when he was shaving. Did you hear yourself say that?
Yes, but that's not what I'm
Yes or no,
referring to.
ma'am? Am I asking you to expound on it? I just asked you whether or not you heard that you said it took a lot of convincing prior when he was shaving. That's what you said, right?
Yes,
And previous to that, we have you on the bed when you're making or having this intimate moment where you complained that it's not comfortable to you because he hadn't shaved yet, right?
yes,
So then we take a look at exhibit number 159, and he is recently shaved, correct?
it appears that way.
That's because he just shaved afterwards, right? After you.
I
and
didn't
he
see
were
him
in
shave
bed.
that day.
Pardon?
I didn't see him shave that day.
You did say, though, to this detective in that interview on July 16th of 2008, that it took a lot of convincing while he was shaving. You did say that, right?
Sit on a throne of lies. Not while, and it was actually a run-on sentence because I was referring to another day.
So you're saying that you had a rattle-on sentence. You did hear yourself saying that it took a lot of convincing when he was shaving then, right?
It sounds that way, but
Anytime.
when is the new
And
sentence?
different every time.
Let's hear it again then, okay? So we can really understand what it said, all right?
Afternoon, I just, he had been cleaning his house. So I wasn't sitting on the couch. Usually I would just chill on the couch downstairs, if no one was home. But he had like chairs and all that stuff all over the couch. He was cleaning the floors or something. Fed Napoleon. I don't know if he made phone calls or not, or what he was doing on the internet, but at one point he was going to go up and take a shower, and it took a lot of convincing prior when he was shaving. I was like, I got some ideas.
Did you hear that? That, according to you, he was going to go out and take a shower, and it took a lot of convincing prior when he was shaving. Isn't that what you said? Yes or no? That's all I'm
Yeah,
asking.
but you stopped it before the sentence was over.
Ma'am, isn't that what you said?
Yes, part of what I said.
Isn't that what you said?
Yes, that's part of the sentence.
Well, then let's hear it then, all right?
Afternoon, I just, he had been cleaning his house. So I wasn't sitting on the couch. Usually I would just chill on the couch downstairs, if no one was home. But he had like chairs and all that stuff all over the couch. He was cleaning the floors or something.
Don't you put that on us.
Fed Napoleon.
I did not come here to math.
I don't know if he made phone calls or not, or what he was doing on the internet, but at one point he was going to go up and take a shower, and it took a lot of convincing prior when he was shaving. I was like, I got some ideas, and they didn't turn out good at all, not like I wanted to. But I thought that I could get some cool pictures of him shaving. It's because he does the whole old-fashioned thing with like this little, I don't know how it works. He liked it though, apparently, because he used it for his profile picture on MySpace. So those interrupts good. I was going to do that again later, but I asked him if I could do pictures of him in the shower, and he's like, no. And I was like, I just have an idea. I have a couple ideas. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And I said, I saw this thing in a Calvin Klein ad once that looked really good. And so he was, you're right, he wasn't very comfortable at first. He's standing there and he's all, I feel gay.
That's your whole statement, right?
Yes.
Involving that issue. And part of that statement says he was going to go up and take a shower, and it took a lot of convincing prior when he was shaving, correct? That's what it says. Yes or no?
Yes, part of it.
Yes or no?
Yes, part of it.
Yes or no?
Yes, part of it.
You keep saying part of it.
Because you're not finishing the sentence. Maybe the
Ma'am.
transcriber put a period there, but that's not the whole sentence.
You heard it over and over again, and we've heard it, and that's what it says, right?
Yes.
Those words were uttered by your mouth back on
gonna bite my
July
pillow, is
16th
what
of
I'm gonna
2008. Yes or no?
That's correct.
About half dozen times.
Sustained.
Now, you were standing there taking some pictures. And how long were you standing there taking some pictures before something happened?
I don't know.
You did have his camera, right?
Yes, I wasn't
And
standing.
It was relatively new camera for you, right?
Yes.
It's the first time you'd ever seen it, right?
Threw it in the washer.
First time I ever saw it physically and held it. I can't remember if I looked it up on the internet when we were shopping for it.
So the answer is yes, that's the first time you've ever seen that specific camera, correct?
That I recall, yes.
Well, ma'am, had you been to Mr. Alexander's home between April when you left and June 4th, 2008?
No.
And wasn't it true that it was during that time, between April of 2008 and June 4th of 2008, when you killed him, that he bought the camera, right?
Yes.
So it's fair to say, based on that set of circumstances, that you had never seen his camera before, correct?
Based on that solely, that's correct.
Well, are you saying that you saw his camera, previous to that date?
Yes.
And where did you see his camera if you haven't seen him before between April when you left and June of 2008 when you saw him?
He posted a picture of himself in the mirror taking a picture of his whole self in the bathroom on Facebook, and his camera is clearly in the photograph.
So how about if we do it this way? When was the first time you actually got to touch his camera? Was it on June 4th of 2008?
Yes.
And it's fair to say that you had never physically manipulated or worked with his camera prior to June 4th of 2008, correct?
Yes.
And June 4th of 2008, in terms of getting familiar with that camera, that was the first opportunity that you had, correct?
Correct.
You did have an opportunity when you were taking pictures of him to at least see how it worked to take photographs, right?
Yes.
You were unsuccessful in working the camera to take a video, correct?
Correct.
And that was partly because you were unfamiliar with the camera, right?
Yes.
You hadn't read the instructions, right?
I had not.
And so then, with regard to that particular camera, you start using it later on in the afternoon. About what time do you start taking these photographs in the shower, ma'am?
I haven't seen this, but my guess is she starts crying.
Off the top of my head, I don't remember the time. I guess they're timed on the photos, but I can't tell you the time.
Ma'am, I'm not asking what's on here. I'm asking what you remember, what you are cognizant of.
It was
you know?
sometime
Yes or
in the
no?
afternoon.
Do you know a time? Yes or no?
No.
And so, but you, with regard to this particular camera, previously you have also told us that you have not deleted any photographs from that camera, correct?
Previously, I believe
Right.
that's correct. About the pictures of me, I said,
Ma'am, I'm asking, do you remember that we talked about this yesterday, about the photographs that were taken of you and him on the bed? Do you remember that?
yes.
And you remember that you told us that it was he who had actually deleted the photographs from the camera. Do you remember telling us that?
She said they both did.
Earl, you may answer.
I believe they were deleted, but I don't remember how that happened. I think he deleted them after we took them.
You don't remember how it happens. If you don't remember how it happens, it's fair to say that you didn't do it, right?
I remember when Rock was young.
Sustained rephrase.
Well,
You
You didn't delete the photographs, did you? The sex photographs, did you?
I might have deleted them.
Well, I thought you said that just now that it was he, meaning Mr. Alexander, that deleted the photographs.
I believe it was him, but I can't be sure, so it could have been me, but I believe it was him.
Let's go with your belief. If it is your belief that he's the person that deleted the photographs, then that excludes you from deleting the photographs, right? Based on that belief.
Only if you base it on the belief, but that doesn't mean it's actually
Well,
the reality.
Ma'am, everything that you tell us from the witness stand is your belief, isn't it?
Qualifier Central.
I'm just
Yep.
saying they got deleted.
Yes or no? Everything that you're telling us is what you believe, right? If we're going to use the word believe.
It's the truth to the best of
I'm
my
not
memory.
asking you if it's the truth. Am I asking you if it's the truth?
Yes.
I am
That was
asking
my
you
true
that. I
choice.
thought the word was believe. Isn't it true that I'm asking you what you believe? And you told us that you believe it was Mr. Alexander who deleted the photographs of you and he having sex.
What was the question?
The question is, isn't it true, man, that you just told us that you believe it was Mr. Alexander who deleted the photographs of you and he having sex on the bed?
I believe it was him, yes, but I'm not sure.
But you believe that, right?
It's likely, but I'm not sure. I believe it was probably him.
And if he's the one, assuming that we adopt your belief, if he's the one that deleted the photographs, then up to that point, when you're taking photographs of him in the shower, you haven't deleted any photographs from his camera yet, correct?
Not necessarily, no, that's not correct.
Well, the only photographs that are on that camera that were taken that day when you got there are the ones involving the sex. You're aware of that, right?
No, that's not true.
Well, you took other photographs that day?
Yes, in the shower.
Well, we're not there, are we?
I don't know, you go all over the place.
Well, you keep trying to be critical but not answering the questions. Are you having problems following? If you are, let me know. But we're talking about the deletion of photographs. Do you have any problem understanding that that's the topic?
No.
And do you have any problem, first of all, understanding that you believe that it was Mr. Alexander who deleted the sexual photographs? You told us that you believed that.
He usually deleted those, so
Yes
I'm not
or
sure.
no? I'm not asking you what he did. Isn't it true that you just told us that?
Oh yeah, I did just say that.
And based on that, the next time that his camera was used was when you were taking photographs of him in the shower, right?
That's correct.
And if that's the next time that you using the photograph, or that the two of you are using the camera, then before that time, when you are taking photographs of him in the shower, you, based on your belief, have never deleted any items from his camera, right?
My fault.
No,
You think that you deleted something else even though there were no other photographs taken?
I believe it's possible, and I can't say definitively.
There were
Remember
only
Celebrity
two
Deathmatch,
instances
the MTV show?
of
what we
voluntary
need.
photograph taking with his camera that day, correct?
Correct.
There was the one involving the sex, right?
Yes.
There was the one of him in the shower, right?
Yes.
There were the involuntary photographs, right?
You must have seen a
Yes.
news station that covered her testimony.
And
the
you
day
just
before that
told
didn't
us
like it, and
that
she completely
between
altered
the
way
sex
that she was
pictures
doing it.
and the shower pictures, you believe you did not delete any photographs from his camera, correct?
I'm not entirely sure.
But you said that's what you believe. Do you remember just telling that just minutes ago?
Yes, I believe that, but that doesn't mean it's concrete. I may have deleted
Ma'am,
photos.
I'm just asking you whether or not you told us that that's what you believe. That's all I'm asking you. In other words, did you just tell us minutes ago that that's what you believe? Yes or no?
I appreciate
Overruled.
all of
Me
you.
answer.
10 times
yes,
more.
I think I said that.
So if that's the truth and we're going on your belief,
Thank you.
when he was in the shower, you began to snap photographs
crazy
of
train?
him, correct?
Yes.
And you wanted to get the Calvin Klein look, right?
Yes.
And before this time that you were taking photographs of him in the shower, you had not, based on your belief, ever deleted any images from that photograph, from that camera, correct?
No,
Guessing it didn't get any better.
That's not correct?
that's not correct.
All right. Tell me when you deleted any images from that photograph between the time that he deleted the sex pictures and after he deleted the sex pictures and you began to take the photographs of him in the shower. Between that period of time, when did you delete photographs from that camera?
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I can't say
That's a lot
definitively
nicer.
when, or even
Crazy.
if, but I can't say whether Travis did either.
No, I'm going from the time that from your belief, just from your belief, ma'am. Immediately, seconds after, he's deleted those images, according to your belief, seconds after, and to the time when you first start taking the photographs. When did you delete anything from that camera?
Either of us could have deleted it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Either of us could have deleted the picture.
I'm not asking that. You keep avoiding the question, ma'am. The question is when. Give me the circumstances when you, starting at the point that I just mentioned, to the time of taking the photographs in the shower, when did you do anything to delete photographs from his camera?
Sometime after they were taken. That's all I can say.
So sometime after what was taken?
The photographs that were deleted.
So you didn't delete the sex photographs. Now we have the photographs that you're taking in the shower. Are you saying now that you deleted some other photographs in between?
No, I'm not saying that.
That's what I want. So then you're not familiar with the camera in terms of how to delete photographs, are you?
At what point? Because I did
At the
become
point
familiar.
before you had deleted any photographs.
That's correct.
And so that if you needed to delete it, go through the process of deleting a photograph, it would then be a first time for you, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And so you then tell us that you take this photograph, 160, and that this is at 5:30 and 30 seconds.
Yes, sir.
And that's on June 4th, 2008, right?
Yes.
You were the person that was handling the camera when this photograph was taken, right?
Yes.
The door was open, right?
Yes.
And Mr. Alexander was seated there, right?
So glad you're back. Ain't
Yes.
it, dude?
And
That's unnecessary.
what you told us on direct examination is that that's also an inadvertent photograph, correct?
Laying
It
down.
is.
What you're saying is that the camera was twirling and coming down at the
Sorry,
time
everybody.
that this photograph was taken, right?
No,
We're adults.
Overruled. To me answer.
that's not correct.
Well, what was the camera doing when this photograph was taken?
I have no idea.
Well, you were there, right?
We were looking at him, so I must have moved it because I kept showing him and then moving it back and showing him, moving it back. And then we would delete the ones he didn't like.
Do you remember on direct examination indicating that there
You're
was
here
a
and that
fumble
counts.
sort of movement with regard to this photograph, and that's why this is also an inadvertent photograph?
Not this photo.
This is the last in the sequence. This is at 5:30:30 before the other shot. This is the last in the sequence.
So that was an on-purpose photo, because not a good one.
Isn't this the
Not
last in the
surprised.
sequence
Not a good
before
one,
there
Jodi.
is the other shot of the ceiling, which is at exhibit number 161
You are a meathead.
of the ceiling?
It wasn't me. It was
That's
the
correct.
one-armed man.
So, are you saying now that this was not an inadvertent photograph?
No, I'm not saying that.
So it is an inadvertent photograph, right?
Yes, it is.
What were the circumstances
Because she's caught.
that made this an
She messed
inadvertent
up.
photograph?
She's mourning her screw up.
Overruled.
The only way that would be an inadvertent photograph is if my finger inadvertently hit the shutter release button.
Is that what you did, inadvertently hit the shutter?
Obviously, yes.
No, there's nothing obvious about it, ma'am. It's a photograph. It is in focus, isn't it?
Yes,
And if we compare it to the other photograph, which is exhibit number 161, this is not in focus, is it?
no,
The previous 160 is though, right?
yes.
How can you tell us just by looking at this that this is an inadvertent photograph if it is well in focus and the subject is sitting there aimed at this individual? Why is it that you tell us that this is an accidental or inadvertent photograph?
Because all of those photos were intended to be waist-up shots.
So all the photos are intended to be waist-up shots. That doesn't tell us that this is an inadvertent photograph, does it?
It's certainly not intentional, so it is inadvertent.
You were holding the camera securely when this photograph was taken, correct?
I don't know
A lot
what you
of
mean by
people looked at
securely. I
Kirk
was just
and
holding
were
it
like-
to the best of my ability.
Right, the
Why are
same
you
as you were
quizzical
with
about
regard to the other photographs, right?
I think he's quizzical
You were
about
holding
Jodi's
it
answer.
as securely with this photograph as you were with the other photographs, right?
Yes.
And this photograph
chunk of
then is
bacon.
taken when you
Giving them
apply pressure
membership.
to the button that takes the photograph,
Mr.
correct?
Jen, you're
That's how it
back.
works.
Welcome back to the call.
And that's how it works for the other photographs too, right?
Grab
Yes.
your
And in this
Kool-Aid.
particular case, this photograph is not out of focus, so there's really nothing that tells us from the photograph itself that this was inadvertent, right?
From the photo itself, yes, it's inadvertent because I wouldn't take a picture of that.
But it's your word that you wouldn't take that shot, right? That's what you're saying. And it's because it shows his buttock area that you say it's inadvertent, right?
That's correct.
Did he get mad when you took a picture of his buttocks?
No, we just deleted it.
No, I'm not asking you anything about deleting it. I'm asking you whether or not he was angry at the time.
Not at that point, he wasn't angry.
Was he angry at the time that you took this photograph on June 4th, 2008 at 5:30 and 30 seconds,
Okay,
ma'am?
thanks for
Not at
gifting
that
again.
point.
That's the point I'm asking you about. I'm not asking you about any other time. Was he
here.
angry at that point? Yes or no?
No,
Again.
And so
Twice.
you then still had the camera in your hand and had not, according to you, dropped it, right?
that's correct.
Were you and he talking when these photographs were being taken?
Yes.
And were you asking him how to pose?
Don't get gifted
I don't
another
recall
one.
asking him any specific poses, just
Thank you.
whatever.
Yeah.
Wasn't this for you? Isn't this something that you
Goodness.
wanted?
It was for him.
Welcome
That's
to
why
the
it was
call.
on his camera.
I thought the conversation that you had with this detective was that, quote, it took a lot of convincing, whether it was then or another time. If it takes a lot of convincing, it means it's your idea, not his, right?
Initially, it was my idea.
So you're agreeing then that it was your idea to have this photography session.
Yes.
And exhibit 159, he's now
Comes in
sitting
with
down,
another
right?
Gift
Yes.
membership.
And when he's
Ashley,
sitting
welcome.
there, it was
Back,
you
I
who was
think.
directing this
Welcome
photograph because you liked the way the water was coming on his face, didn't you?
Yes.
So you were the person that was directing him on where to be and how to sit, right?
Yes.
I left my money belt
Yes.
in the car.
He
Pardon?
was sitting, so I just told him to look at the camera.
Pardon?
I mean, he was sitting and he was standing at one point.
Ma'am, he's standing through some of these photographs, correct?
Yes.
And then at some point toward the end, he's sitting down, right?
Yes.
Right before this attack happened, he's sitting down, right?
Yes.
And you're the one that's directing the taking of these photographs because you want to get the Calvin Klein look, right?
Well, that was with the water, so I didn't have to direct him. The water did the work on that.
Ma'am, I'm not asking you about what the water is doing. I'm not asking you about that. I'm asking you about this man's physical positioning inside of that shower.
You can't do that.
In some of these photographs in the beginning, he's standing, isn't he?
Yes.
Let's take a look at one of them. So that we
You
know what
did
we're
that.
talking about. $141. Exhibit 141, he's standing there, right?
Yes.
And you're the one taking these photographs, right?
3 months.
Yes.
Then if we go to the exhibit that we've been talking about, which is exhibit 159, he's now seated, right?
Yes.
You're the one that's telling him what position to get in so you can get this Calvin Klein effect that you want, right?
No, that's not right.
Well, isn't this what this photographic session is about? Isn't that what you told us it was about?
The Calvin Klein,
Yeah, the Calvin Klein look, right?
something to that effect.
That's what what we heard you say, right?
Yes.
So if you're the person that's taking the photographs, you're also the person that's telling him, stand this way, stand that way, or sit down, aren't you?
It was mutual.
I know no one's asking whether or not he consented to sit down. I'm asking who was directing him in these poses. It was you, wasn't it?
Yes, and him, both of us.
Well, it was you who was behind the lens, and it was you who wanted to get a certain look, right?
Yes, with the water.
And it was all about this Calvin Klein thing that you wanted, right?
Yes.
I thought on direct examination, you told us something about him wanting
We appreciate
pictures
you.
because he was going to go to Cancun. Which one is it, ma'am?
Not because he was going to Cancun, when his body was cut the way it was in this photo.
So which one is it? The Calvin Klein
Man,
sort of ambience?
yeah.
Or is it he wants these pictures for Cancun? Pick one.
It's not for Cancun.
Didn't you indicate on direct examination that he was going to go to Cancun, he was proud of his body, and he wanted to pose for you because he wanted those sort of as a memento of how good he looked before he went to Cancun? Do you remember telling us that?
Yes,
So which one is it?
it's both.
Even though you told Detective Flores nothing about that, right?
About what?
Well, what is it that we're talking about?
We're talking about a few different things right now.
Well, the last one that we were talking about,
The
Cancun issue, ma'am. You never told the detective about the Cancun issue, did you?
what Cancun issue?
Do you remember that we're talking about Travis Alexander? Let's start with that.
Yes, I remember that.
That's why we're here, because you killed him, right?
Yes,
And with regard to Mr. Alexander, he was going to Cancun, right?
yes,
And you testified about him going to Cancun on direct examination, right?
yes,
And you told us that the purpose of these pictures was because he was proud of his body because he'd been working out. Do you remember telling us that?
yes, that's correct.
And that he now, when he went to Cancun, would be able to wear whatever swimwear, whatever it is that they wear out on the beach, right?
Yes,
And that he wanted to memorialize that through a picture so that he could keep it. Do you remember telling us that on direct examination?
it wasn't worded that way, but that's more or less correct.
Sure.
You
And
can't handle
in
the
fact,
truth.
though, what you told the detective back on June 16th of 2008 is something entirely different about these photographs, right?
Just another aspect of the same thing.
Pardon?
It was another aspect of the same thing.
Well,
She
you
said
do tell the
cut
detective that it
their
takes a
hand.
lot of convincing, right?
It would be
Yeah,
from
in
the
January
knife.
it did.
Sure, it took a lot of convincing. If it takes a lot of convincing, then why are you telling us that he really wanted the photographs? On the one hand, you see that you're telling us he wanted the photographs, and on the other hand, you're telling us, no, he didn't want the photographs. Which one is it? Pick one.
Objection, compound question, we're talking about two different incidents, one in January, one in June.
Get your question.
Ma'am, with regard to this photography session on June 4th of 2008, made two statements about it. Yes, he did want the photographs taken, or no, he needed convincing. Either one. Just tell me either one.
Well, he did need convincing when we initially discussed it. And on June 4th, he was ready for it because his body was more toned.
So you're saying he wanted it on June 4th of 2008. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes,
And you did not say that to this detective back on July 16th of 2008, right?
I didn't specify.
No, you didn't say it, did you?
Say what?
What
That
we're
he wanted
talking
it.
about. Why is it that you have a hard time understanding these
100 is
questions
least convincing.
when they
yes.
are in conflict with what you're telling us?
Objection, argument.
Because why? Sustained.
With regard to the detective, you did not tell him that Mr. Alexander wanted his picture taken in the shower, correct?
That's correct.
Let's take a look at Exhibit
Stupid done,
249.
sir.
Do you recognize what's here?
Yes,
And this is a schematic diagram of Mr. Alexander's bathroom, correct?
that's correct.
And it also includes the closet, correct?
Yes,
It also includes the bedroom, right?
yes,
And the rope that we talked about was behind here, behind the bed, right?
that's right.
That's obviously a Brandi Churchwell schematic.
All right, ma'am. These photographs that you were taken, at some point, take a look at exhibit number 161. And the time is 5:31 and 14 seconds. That photograph is snapped, correct?
Correct.
And this is the door to the shower, right?
Yes,
This is the light above the shower, right?
yes,
And Mr. Alexander is seated down here, isn't he?
yes,
And we saw a picture of him seated, correct? He hadn't moved from that position, right?
yes.
You were standing, right?
I was kneeling at that point.
And this right here is the door to the closet, correct?
Yes,
We go back to exhibit number 249. Where were you when that photograph was snapped? And I'm talking about, so we can be specific, if you want to look at it, 161. Where were you when this photograph was snapped?
I was somewhere maybe slightly to the left of the circle number 4.
Why don't you point to it?
It was somewhere in this area.
So you were immediately right in front of the shower, right?
A few feet back, so there was no water on the camera.
And Mr. Alexander was still seated, correct?
Yes,
And you said that you were kneeling, right?
yes,
So that the distance between you and the floor was not that great, correct?
no, that's correct.
And this photograph here, 160, the last one before that, were you also kneeling on this one?
Yes,
You were?
yes,
And this would show the distance between, obviously, the lens and the subject. Are you saying that that's 2 feet?
It's not necessarily the distance because the lens had a zoom.
Right, so I'm asking you how far away you were you?
I was a few feet, not too, maybe a little bit farther so the water didn't splash on the camera.
You hadn't moved from this position when you took this photograph, when the other photograph was snapped, right?
No, that's not right. We were looking at photos.
You what?
We were looking at the pictures, reviewing them.
So when you took this photograph, which is the one of him at 5:30, and then there was this other photograph of 161, were you in the same position? I'm not asking if there was any deletion of photographs in between. I'm just asking if you were in the same area when these two photographs were snapped. That's all I'm asking.
I was in the same general spot, but there was some adjusting.
All right? And you pointed to that general spot for us, correct?
Yes,
And you said that that was a couple of feet away, right?
yes,
And that was right around there, right?
around there, yes.
And so you say you dropped the camera, right?
I did.
Where did the camera go?
I dropped it when I was facing this way. It landed on the mat right about here and sort of did a little double bounce onto the tile right there.
Well, you said you dropped the camera right around here, correct?
Yes,
And the camera then came
it rolled a little bit.
south then, right?
Yeah. Yes.
In this direction, correct? How far did the camera roll?
It was right sort of against,
Nice.
it didn't touch, but it was sort of against the bathtub.
So the bathtub's over here.
Right.
This right here is the dividing wall between the shower and the bathtub. You understand that or not?
Yes.
So the camera then came this way, right?
It was it was right sort of up against the bathtub, but not, it didn't hit the porcelain part of the bathtub.
And there was a bath mat that was here, wasn't there?
I don't recall a bath mat being there. I just know the shower mat was there.
So there was a shower mat there? Is that what
Right
you-
outside of the shower. That's the only mat that I can
He
remember.
remembers
being
that,
there.
but nothing else.
And the camera is then right about here, right?
In that vicinity.
Right? And what happens when the camera comes to rest in this position? What happens next?
Travis snapped.
When you say Travis snapped, he manifested something. What did he do?
He got very angry. He stood up, stepped out of the shower, all the while calling me an effing
Screaming
idiot.
at you, bad stuff, right? Cursing at you, right?
I remember the F word. I don't know how much cursing there was.
And
I
the
think
F
there
word
was-
being what? You can say it. You said it in text messages. Go ahead.
He said fucking,
You said fucking what?
that I'm a fucking idiot.
Okay, he said you were a fucking idiot. And he's standing up when he says this, right?
As he was standing up or whatever. I don't know the exact position he was in when those words were uttered.
So he was either standing or moving up to stand when he started cursing, right?
Yes, that's
And he's within about 2 feet of you, right?
If I had a second to read
somewhere
it,
like that.
That's what you told us you were standing or
Rest of it,
kneeling when you took this
tell
photograph,
you.
right? Or this photograph was snapped,
Have
right?
have
Yeah, it was
book,
a few feet so that the water
Time.
wouldn't splash.
I'll
Right.
continue.
And at that point, he gets very upset. He does what you said that he told us. And is this when he gets this mean look in his face that you talked about?
When he picked me up, I looked in his face.
And you saw this mean look in his face, right?
Yes,
Is this the same mean look that you told us that you remember back from August of 2007?
it's a look I've seen more than a few times.
I'm asking about
So-
August 2007. That's the one I'm asking about. Do you remember telling us that in August 2007, you saw that same mean look that you saw back on June 4th of 2008?
I remember saying it was very similar.
Similar means it's about the same, right?
Yes,
And so you see this same look on his face, but in August of 2007, all he did was grab your wrist, say, I'm sorry, and held you, right?
Jim, she mischaracterized the testimony. She didn't say it was the same. She said it was similar.
Who's it and what's it
plenty. Can you please repeat that?
yeah.
Could you read it back to her, please?
Got who's it and what's it galore. You want thingamabobs? I've got
Question. And so you see the same look on his face, but in August of 2007, all he did was grab your wrists,
Where's
say
Mike?
I'm sorry, and held you, right?
I don't like it.
Back in
Where's
August,
Mike?
yes.
So you're in similar, it appears to be in a similar circumstance. Now something else happens, right?
Yes, many somethings later, this something is now happening.
Well, something happens now where you claim that he grabbed you and threw you down, right?
Yeah, he body slammed me.
He body slammed you down, right?
Yes.
In a very forceful way. Where did he body slam you down, ma'am?
Right in the same area on the tile.
Pardon?
In the same area on the tile, my head would be facing south.
So in other words, right here in this area where you were taking the photographs, right?
Kind of more like
Pardon?
that.
Right around there?
Whole area, I'd say.
And you said your head was facing south, right?
Yes.
So you, even though he slammed you really, really hard, you were still cognizant enough to know that your head was facing south, which would be in this direction, right?
That's where I whacked my head on the tile.
Yeah, and so your head then is facing south, and you're remembering all this, even though he slammed you down really, really hard, right?
I wasn't thinking south when it happened, but here it is.
But you remember the direction of your head, whether it was whatever the direction you're giving us now, you remember that your head was in this direction, right?
Yes, I do.
It wasn't a circumstance that you hit your head so
The
hard
monster munch.
that it
They did the
made
monster
you lose
munch.
at least any memory
They
at
had
that
a
point of what had happened, right?
I don't think so.
Well, no, you were there. When you say you don't think so, it sounds like you did. You remember your head being this way, right?
I do.
She can't testify to memories that she lost. How would she know that?
Overall, Jimmy answer.
Yeah, I just don't know
Wow.
about head injuries. but I
Vanderwall
just
never did
remember
the
being in that
actual-
direction.
I'm asking
Investigation.
whether or not whatever happened, you remember
Amber
enough
Heard
to know
sounded
that your
like
head
her.
was facing in
For
this direction
sure.
south, which is south, right?
More or less, yes. My body was somewhat parallel with that area.
I'm asking about your head. I'm not asking about your body. Your body is, your head is facing this way, right?
Yes.
And so that happens, and is the camera still down here next to the tub?
I would assume I don't remember the camera at that point anymore.
You don't remember the camera anymore. You were focused on Mr. Alexander. And now he's standing over you, right?
He's back.
Yes.
All right.
And he's standing over you and you're down. Tell me what happens next.
I roll to my left.
You roll to your left, which would be in this direction,
Yes. And I
and
ran.
Mr. Alexander would be in front of you, correct?
He was somewhat to my right a little bit, but just outside the shower. And I ran down the hallway.
Well, I'm not asking you anything about that. Mr. Alexander is out of the shower, correct?
Yes, he is. Or he stepped out. I don't know if he has 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but he stepped out.
Well, he needed to have been out of the shower in order for him to grab you and body slam you, didn't he?
Not necessarily.
Oh, so
He
you're
had-
saying that he was in the shower, and from the shower, he kind of reached over and grabbed you and body slammed you sideways, even though he wasn't out of the shower?
No, I said he definitely stepped out, but I don't know if he had both feet out or 1 foot out.
So when he is in the shower, he at least takes one step out, and you're far enough away so that the water's not going to be getting on the camera, right? Right?
Yes.
And in this position where his legs are open, potentially, right? Right?
Yes.
You're saying that he reaches over with one leg still in the shower and he body slams you. That's what you said, right?
No, it's not what I said.
She said you didn't know where.
All right, your objection is noted. Overruled. You may answer the question.
That's not what I said.
Well, when he body slammed you, isn't it true that he was out of the shower?
Well, yeah.
Okay, then why did you tell us that he was still in the shower? Why did you just minutes ago tell us that?
I didn't say that
You
minutes.
said he had 1 foot in the shower. Didn't you say that?
No, I didn't say he had 1 foot in the shower. I said I don't know if he stepped all the way out or if the 1 foot was still in the shower.
Okay, so it could be that 1 foot was still in the shower, you're telling us, when he body slammed you, right?
It could be or it couldn't be. I don't know. All I know is getting body
Right.
slammed again.
But you're saying it's a possibility that the 1 foot is still in the shower, right?
I don't know.
Well,
I
you
don't
were
know
there,
what his
right?
feet were.
And so far, you remember very well so far, because you were scared, right? That's what you told us.
I was terrified.
Terrified. It's same sort of thing, only escalated, right? Scared is the same thing as terrified, only terrified is worse, right?
I would say that, yes.
And so he, even though he may have had 1 foot in the shower, he does step outside, right?
He comes toward me enough to lift me up, whatever that took. He lifts me up and body slams me.
So he actually picks you up physically and body slams you, right?
Yes.
So what I think you're now telling us is that the body slam takes place with both of his feet out of the shower, right?
I wasn't focused on his feet, so I can't really answer that
All
question.
right? So then you go down, right?
Yes.
He's standing up, right?
Yes.
And he's standing up, according to you, right about here, right?
Not where you pointed to number 3. It wasn't there.
How
It was
about
just-
number 4?
Somewhere closer in that area. It's all the same general.
Right in here?
Somewhere in that area. He
All
was
right.
just standing over me.
standing over you, were his feet straddling you?
No.
Were his feet at your feet?
More like my legs, maybe, my knees.
So he was with his legs open and your knees were between his legs? Is that what we're talking about?
He wasn't straddling me.
So he was standing next to your knees, right?
He was over me, but not with both legs on each side of me.
Right. But he was standing next to your knees, right? That's what you said.
Knees or shins. It was.
All right, let's go with knees or shins. That part of your leg, right? Knees or shins, right?
Yes.
And you were you were close to this area. You remember you told us that you were close to the top. Do you remember telling us that?
Yes.
And so if he was standing, he would have had to have been standing on the, if we look at this diagram, on the left side, which would be, I understand that this is a direction that you haven't given, but to the west of you, right?
He was not on the left, he was on the right.
So he was on the right, so he would be on this side then, near your shins.
Yes.
So that would mean that your feet were in front of the shower then, right?
That's about the general area where they were.
All right?
Or the yellow flag.
And do you know how close your feet were to the door that was open?
No.
So he's standing there and you're down, right?
Yes.
And you're terrified, right?
Yes.
What happens next?
Well, I got the wind knocked out of me and I hit my head, but.
All right, you hit your head, but you remember everything. Based on what you're telling us, you still have a good memory of what happened, right?
Up to that point.
You got the wind.
And now for something completely different.
Oh, hello, everybody. It is time for, what is it? Oh, yeah, Night Court Chat GPT Mad Libs. Hey! And tonight is not entirely a Mad Libs because yours truly was so busy today that it just did not happen. So you've got the Karen wig tonight. Oh, you've got the Karen wig tonight. Sorry in advance. But also, I will tell you what prompt I gave ChatGPT. And tonight I gave ChatGPT, please write a comedy diary about a woman who wants to be loved by someone but is ignored and it makes her angry. Oh, hi. I hope you made my sandwich right or I'm bringing it back after I eat all but one bite. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to lower the volume on this music. And over here. Let's pick the right thing, shall we? There we go. You all tell me if this is way too loud. Hopefully the volume isn't loud. Dear diary, oh, the drama of it all. Another day has passed, and the universe still refuses to align with my love-struck desires. It's like the cosmos itself is playing a cosmic joke on me, leaving me feeling like a character in some twisted romantic comedy. You know, it's not easy being me. On the surface, I come across as charming, witty, and utterly delightful, but deep down, my sociopathic tendencies lead me to act in ways that aren't precisely traditional. But hey, love knows no boundaries, right? I'm just looking for someone to adore me unconditionally, even if it's against their better judgment. Yet, despite my best efforts, the world seems insistent on ignoring my brilliance. Men come and go. As I try to charm them with my carefully crafted personas, but they seem impervious to my magnetic allure. It's as if they can sense my darker inclinations, and it scares them away. Amateurs. Today I encountered yet another setback. I spotted a dashing gentleman across the cafe, his eyes lost in a novel, a perfect target for my love-struck endeavors. I put on my sweetest smile and approached, pretending to be intrigued by the very book he held. Alas, my charm failed me yet again. He mumbled a polite response, then returned to his reading, utterly ignoring my very existence. Jerry. My heart sank, and my anger swelled. The nerves of these men, ignoring my advances. Don't they know what they're missing? But then again, perhaps it's their loss. My love could be the most thrilling, albeit tumultuous adventure of their lives. After all, who wouldn't want to be with someone who can switch between heartwarming affection and icy detachment in a matter of seconds? Oh, how I long to find someone who will look past my sociopathic tendencies and see the vulnerable, misunderstood soul beneath. But until that day comes, I'll continue my quest for love, undeterred by the countless rejections I face. I've decided to join a speed dating event tomorrow. An opportunity to meet a fresh batch of unsuspecting victims. Potential suitors. Armed with my charm and dark wit, I'm determined to make someone fall head over heels for me. They won't know what hit them. Until next time, dear diary, when I regale you with the misadventures of my love life once again. Yours passionately, the love-struck sociopath. Oh man, it's really funny how you type to ChatGPT to say, write a comedy entry about a sociopathic woman who wants to be loved by someone but is ignored and it makes her angry. And you literally get a diary entry straight out of Jodi Arias's own journal. How fascinating was that? I mean, whoa. Just can't. I obviously typed in the prompt, saw that it came up. I read like a couple sentences, and then the rest of it's just a dry read. Like I never read it before. But that is just so strange, right? Yep, that happened. That did indeed happen. Wow. Oh boy. Well, back to our regularly scheduled programming, shall we?
Right?
Yes.
But even though you got the wind knocked out of you, you still have a good memory of what happened, right?
I don't know how good it is, but I remember it.
You remember it, right?
Yes.
Use your word. And when you got the wind knocked out of you, that means that you were having difficulty breathing, right?
It hurt. I don't remember not being able to breathe. It just hurt my rib cage and my torso. It hurt.
So when you say that you had the wind knocked out of you, that may not be accurate because what you're really describing is a pain to your midsection,
Jodi?
whether it be the ribs or whatever, right?
Yes, it was painful.
It was painful. That's not the question. The question is when you said that you had the wind knocked out of you, that may not be accurate, correct?
Where are you? I'm in a glass case of emotion.
I'm not sure because I've had the wind knocked out of me before, only a lot worse than that. So it felt that way, but it just more, it was painful.
So you've had the wind knocked out of you before, right?
Yes.
You know what that feels like, right?
Yes.
You can't breathe. That's why they call it knocking the wind out of you, right?
Yes.
So you're telling us then, since you are familiar with having the wind knocked out of you, that you've hit your head, you're down, and you can't breathe, right?
I'm not saying that.
You did say that you had the wind knocked out of you, right?
Worse than this, yeah.
No. I'm talking about here. You're telling us that you had the wind knocked out of you here, right?
I think it was to a degree, yes.
So you're having difficulty breathing then at that point, right?
Breathing wasn't going through my mind at that point. I just remember the pain.
I'm not asking you what was going through your head. I'm asking you that whether or not you are telling us that you had difficulty breathing. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking what was going through your head.
I don't remember that as being a priority in my mind at that moment.
I'm not asking you to prioritize your pain. You understand that, right? I'm asking you whether or not because you tell us you had the wind knocked out of you, you were having difficulty breathing. That's all I'm asking you.
I don't remember.
If you don't remember that you were having
Your
difficulty
mother was a
breathing,
hamster,
and based on
and
your
your
previous
father
experiences
smelt
with having the
of
wind knocked out of
elderberry.
you, you didn't have the wind knocked out of you, right?
I think the wind was knocked out of me partially or somewhat because that's
Partially.
that's the
We've gone
sensation
from
that I
full to
felt.
partial.
All right, but it didn't involve breathing though, is what you're saying.
Did you say did or didn't?
Did not involve a breathing difficulty.
I can't say for sure because that wasn't the immediate problem that I was worried about in that moment.
And so you're down, what happens next?
I rolled and ran down the hallway.
Well, you rolled. Rolling is a little bit different than running, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
So even though you're having this wind knocked out of you, and you've, according to you, have had your head smacked on the floor, you are able to roll to your left, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry, to the left,
Not
correct?
even mad. Just impressed.
Yes.
And you are clothed at this
Wait,
time, right?
Cheese?
Yes.
He does not have any clothing on, right?
No, he doesn't.
He's angry though, right?
Very angry.
Extremely angry, right?
I would say that, yes.
And you turn to your left to get up, right?
Yes.
And you turn to your left to get up so you can get away, right?
Yes.
You have absolutely no problem moving to your left and getting up, do you?
I don't know.
Well, you were there,
I just know I did it, and I did it as fast as I could.
and he didn't stop you from doing that, did he?
It's been 84
I
years.
perceived that he was trying to get on top of me.
So you thought that he was trying to get on top of you. You say you perceived, which means that it may or may not be something that actually happened. So did he get on top of you at that point?
I rolled away before that could happen.
So you rolled away before that could happen means that you're saying that he then tried to go down to grab you? Is that what you're saying?
I don't remember him getting down, but I remember him just coming at me and coming at me and coming at me.
I understand that he's coming at you, but you're down on the ground, right?
Yes.
So if you're down on the ground, isn't he going to have to, by necessity, stoop over?
Check, please.
If he were to get on top of me, yes.
And so was he stooping over? Did you see that?
I don't know. I just know that he was coming after me and I rolled.
Well, you're telling us that you have these ideas, but I'm asking you what he actually did. Did he stoop over to get you?
I can only say what was going through my head, not what he actually did.
Well, you weren't looking at what he was doing?
Not after I got my head smacked on the tile, no.
So you weren't looking at him at that point, right?
Not at that very moment, no.
So it could be then at that point that what he was trying to do when he was trying to, because you weren't looking at him, that when he was trying to stoop down, it could be that he was trying to help you, to pick you up and apologize, right? Based on the fact that you told us you weren't looking at his face. It could be, right?
Objection calls for speculation, no evidence.
Overruled, do we answer?
I can't say he was stooping down, so I don't even know how to answer that.
Well, you said he was trying to get on top of you.
I perceived that.
Yes, and perception is your eyes, you're looking, hearing, right?
Part of that is perception.
Sure. And you're telling us that hearing and looking, you believe, or you think, whatever term you want to use, that he was going to get on top of you, right?
I'm not saying hearing or looking, I'm just saying that was my perception.
Not today,
So-
Satan. Not today.
The way you keep backing away from it, it appears that what you're telling us, it could be that he's stooping down to help you to get up, right?
Objection, argument, or she not recommended.
Rephrase your question.
You tell us that he was going down at some point, so that causing you to move away, right?
No, I'm telling you that after I got body slammed, I perceived that he was going to try to get on top of me and I wanted to roll away from the situation and run.
So that was your perception, but it wasn't caused by anything he was doing. It was caused by what he had done before then. That's what you're saying.
Certainly by what he'd done before, but I don't know exactly what he was doing right after he slammed me.
You weren't even looking at him, right?
Not at that point.
You get up, right?
Yes, after rolling, I got up and ran.
Right. And when you get up, point to me.
Raising.
Are you here, you're here, where are you?
I'm not sure because
Sorry.
I didn't do a full turn. I just rolled and got up and ran.
Were you
I put
in
it up
front of the
before you
closet?
retracted it. My bad.
Not directly, but
Were you right there? Where were you?
I don't know. I just rolled and I got up and booked it down the hallway.
And, well, this is not the hallway where you went down, right?
No, that's
You,
not where I
sir.
ran.
Right, and
Are
in fact, are you saying that you rolled all the way
Thank you.
down till you got to
Thank
the
you so
entrance of the hallway?
Thanks for having me on
Overruled.
earlier.
I did not make a full rotation. I just rolled to my side and got up and started running.
So if you are here and you make a half rotation, then isn't it true that you would be standing right about here?
Objection, that mischaracterizes the testimony.
You would be standing right about here when you took off running.
Rephrase the question.
Were you standing right about here
All of a
when
sudden,
you
he's
took off
John
running?
Madden.
Objection, she said
Overruled.
cross the goal line, and that
I really am not sure. I
that's
just got up and started running after I rolled to the side.
Boom.
That's all I can say.
He was still angry at that time, right?
Yes, he was still angry.
And he was still screaming at you, right?
Yes.
And this is the individual that on occasion had been telling you what great shape he got in, right?
Yes.
He's this individual that you told us was a wrestler, right?
Yes.
In high school. And he's the same individual that part of the reason that you were taking these photographs in the shower
Rules do
was
not
because he
apply.
was in pretty good shape, right?
Yes.
So you take off
There's
running
a walking
and you
depiction of
take
cruise
off
liners
running
anywhere where the rules are made up. The points don't matter.
down the hallway, right?
Yes.
And you go in this direction here, is what you're telling us, right?
Yes.
And then you pivot and take a right in here.
Thank you.
This is the closet, right?
Yes.
And
Thanks, lady in
you're
gray.
telling us that this individual that's standing and you're down, that's in really good shape, that's in really angry, and you're running down this hallway, you're telling us he can't catch you because you're way faster, right?
That's not what I'm saying.
They're on either side of the
Well,
forehead
you're
singing.
saying he didn't catch you. You're telling us he didn't catch you here, right?
No.
He didn't catch you here, right?
No.
He didn't catch you here, right?
No.
He's running after you, though, is what you did tell us, though, right?
I didn't look behind me, but I assumed.
Well, if you didn't look behind you, does that mean he wasn't coming after you?
No, ultimately that doesn't mean that because that's not what the reality ended up being.
So this individual that's in this in this shape that you've
I won't call
described,
you Shirley.
you get here before he does, right?
Yes, I do.
And he doesn't catch up to you here. When you're here, he hasn't caught up to you, right?
That's correct.
And there's a door there, right?
Yes.
According to you, you're able to close that door, right?
I slammed it.
But that door doesn't have a lock to it, right?
Not that I recall.
Well, you were there, though, right?
Yes.
Let's take a look at exhibit number 78.
Poor Detective Flores is just sitting there
Take a look at it,
quietly.
please.
At that-
Where were you
Ugh.
taking the photographs when this happened? I want to see it on this exhibit.
Outside the shower.
Pardon?
Outside the shower.
Well, why don't you put a mark on
Are
there?
you serious? Now? Oh, I see. That's why. I was a little slow on that one. Sorry, everybody.
Ma'am, were you crying when you were shooting him?
I don't remember.
Were you crying when you were stabbing him?
Nope.
I don't remember.
How about when you cut his throat? Were you crying then?
I don't know.
So take a look then. And you're the one that did this, right? And you're the same individual that lied about all this, right?
Yes.
So then take a look at it.
Oh, wow. That was a tear that fell.
And take a look at exhibit 78.
Obviously.
And you indicated that you were in this vicinity here with your head in this direction.
Sorry, you have to look at my big ugly
When
mug.
Mr. Alexander was in this vicinity, sort of next to you, correct?
Yes.
And you indicated that you were
First
able
time we
to
really had to do
get
it.
up,
So
right?
Yes,
He was
Kind of
within
a
a foot
win.
of you, wasn't he?
that sounds right. I don't know. Sounds about right.
Well, he was within an arm's length. He could have touched you if he wanted to, right?
I think so. He would have to reach down, I guess.
Pardon?
He would
I
have
can't
to,
hear you. Either pull the microphone up.
he would have to reach down because I was on the ground, but within arm's length, I guess so, yeah.
Or he could have kicked you if he wanted to. That's how close he was, right?
Yes, he was that close.
And you were able to get up, right?
After rolling, I got up, yes.
So you rolled then, right?
Yes,
You were able to get up, right?
yes.
And he was standing right there, correct?
In the same place, but I rolled away, yes.
And then you began to run, correct?
Yes,
And he began to run after you, right?
I heard his footsteps. I didn't look.
I think they
You didn't
took a
tell
break.
us about, in fact, when you
That's my
testified
guess.
prior to trial, you told us that you didn't know if he was coming after you, right?
Prior to trial?
Prior this morning, when you testified. Do you remember testifying this morning?
Yeah, I didn't know for certain because I didn't look back.
Ma'am, my question to you is, do you remember testifying this morning?
Yes,
And do you remember we discussed this issue about going down the hallway? Do you remember that?
yes.
And do you remember that you told us that you had no idea where he was?
Objection, this addresses his testimony.
Overruled, you may answer.
I didn't say that.
You said that you didn't know if he was following you because you weren't paying attention. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember saying I didn't know. I just remember saying that I wasn't sure.
And that you didn't know, you said that you didn't hear him, right? You didn't say that anything about hearing him, did you?
I didn't say that I heard him. I didn't say that I didn't hear him.
So you're now saying that you did hear him coming after you, right?
I'm saying that I thought I heard footsteps
Well,
running after me.
when you say you think, it implies that you're not sure. Did you or did you not hear footsteps as you're going down the hallway?
I think I did.
Okay, so you heard footsteps. That means he's running after you, right?
That's what I believed.
Well, all we care about is what you believe in. So you say that you hear his footsteps, right?
Yes,
So he is coming after you, right?
yes, he is.
Makes you scared, right?
Oh,
And you're saying that this individual who's in shape is not able to catch you before you turn the corner to go into the closet, right?
He did not.
That's what you're saying, that he wasn't fast enough to do it, right?
That's right.
And you slammed the door, right?
I did.
You can't see through the door, right?
That's correct.
So how do you know he's still mad?
Because Travis never calmed down that quickly.
Man, you couldn't see through the door at his expression on his face, could you?
That's correct.
You couldn't see his eyes, correct?
Correct.
And so you're inside this closet, right?
Yes,
And you don't know what he's doing outside, according to you, right?
that's right.
And so even though you don't know what he's doing outside, you claim you go for a weapon, right?
Not immediately. My thought was to run through the other door first.
So then you sat around and waited? There was a period of time here that you waited then?
No, it all happened very quickly, this whole thing.
Okay, well then I thought you said that you thought, or that you took some time to think this out.
It was like instantaneous. I just thought as soon as I slammed the door, I was going to run through the other door. And then in a split second, I realized where the gun was and I went to grab it so that I could point it at him and protect myself.
So you're inside this closet, right?
Yes,
And you're ahead of him, aren't you? In other words, he's on the other side of the door, right?
that was my thought. I also
Man,
had a
I'm
fear.
not asking you what your thinking was. I'm asking you, isn't it true that he was outside of the door?
Well, I don't know where he was. I just
Well,
know that I
okay,
shut the door.
then he was somewhere in the bedroom then, right?
I don't know. He could have been in the bedroom or running down the hallway to meet me at the other end of the door.
Bottom line, he wasn't in the closet with you, is what you're telling us, right?
Yes, that's right.
And you don't know what he's doing during this period of time that he's out there, right? Yes or no? Do you know what he's doing while he's out there?
Specify which period of time you're referring to.
This whole
The
trial.
period of time where you're not seeing him. You don't know what he's doing.
That's correct.
And this is a period of time that allows you for contemplation or to think, right?
If I was in my right mind,
I
yes.
think it's
Well, I'm not asking you whether or not you were in your right mind, was I?
No.
I was asking you whether or not you had time to think, right?
Objection, asked and answered.
Overruled.
I may have had time, but
Well, didn't you just tell us just now that you that you thought about what you were going to do next, right?
yes, I thought of getting away.
And so the answer is yes, you did think, right?
Yes,
And in fact, when you were doing this thinking, he wasn't in the closet, right?
no, he was opening the door at that
Ma'am,
point.
he wasn't in the closet, was he?
I'm sorry, Mama. I
He was
never
opening
meant
the
to
door and
hurt
entering.
I'm not asking you if he was opening the door. I'm at you. The way you told the story just now was that you slammed the door. Didn't you just say that?
Yes, I did.
And when you slammed the door, you didn't get his foot, right? He didn't have his foot in the door, right?
No,
He didn't have his hand somewhere so that the door didn't close, right?
that's right.
The door closed, right?
Yes,
And for whatever period of time, he was outside, right?
I guess because it opened pretty much right away.
Ma'am, during this time, you were ahead of him inside of that closet, according to you, right?
That's right.
You had enough time to grab the door, right?
No, I slammed it.
You touched the door, right?
Yes,
And you slammed the door, right?
yes,
It shut, right?
yes.
At that point, he wasn't in that enclosed area with you, correct?
In that very second, no, he was
Right.
out.
You could have continued running out of this door here, couldn't you?
Yes.
You chose not to because you thought about it, right?
I don't remember really thinking. I just remember being scared and trying to put distance. And
You could have, though, run out and put distance between, to use your term, between you and him by running out this door, right?
that's right.
And if you would have run out this door, you could have then run down the hallway, right? Again, right?
That's possible.
Well, it's something you could have done, right?
Whose phone is ringing?
If he hadn't stopped me, possibly,
Well,
yes.
wait a minute.
Weren't
You
me.
said that you were alone in the closet after you slammed the door for a period of time, a brief period of time, whatever it was, right?
Yes,
And then, so during that brief period of time, when this person who obviously is in shape cannot catch you, you could have just run around and gone down the hallway, correct?
not if I'm trying to keep him away from me.
It kicked me out of my own chat earlier, so
You were alone in the closet, right?
Yes, I was.
it's doing its
And
own
so
thing
if you're alone in the
tonight.
closet, nothing is stopping you from heading in this exit door. I know it's a door. Let's just call it a door.
Okay.
You could have then taken another right. You were familiar with his house, right?
Yes,
You were familiar with the fact that you could have gone down the hallway, right?
yes.
And then you could have taken a quick left and you would have been down the stairs, right?
No, I probably would have been dead.
Well, ma'am, you could have done that, couldn't you?
Not unless I was suicidal.
Well, you're saying that all of a sudden, between the door to the closet, the one that's in the bedroom, and the door to the closet then in the bathroom, he somehow got a lot faster than he did from this area here going all the way around. You're saying he all of a sudden got a lot faster, right?
Objection argumentative.
Bathroom's a weird setup where you got the
State your
tubs
question.
right next to a stand-up.
Ma'am, the distance from
Weird.
here all the way around to the door is further than the distance from where you were standing inside of the closet to this door here, isn't it?
Yes,
So you could have continued running through here, couldn't you?
yes.
He wasn't in the closet at that time, was he?
He was by that point, yes.
Well, and so he's now in the closet, and you're saying that if he's in the closet and yet he allows you, according to you, because now he's in the
I
closet,
didn't get carded
he allows you
yesterday.
to
It
get
was
up
weird.
and get the gun. That's what you're saying, because he's now in the closet, right?
Dramatic hamster.
He entered the closet at the point that I was jumping up on the shelf.
So
Or
so then the door is opening then, not when you told us before, but when you're going up towards the shelf, right?
Yes, when I told you before, which was almost immediately after.
Ma'am, my question to you is, when you went in,
she was
you were able to have
photos
time
outside of
to
the
go
shower,
towards the
in
shelves,
the
right?
shower.
Yes,
And
She ever
you just
actually got
told
in.
us now that during that period of time, whatever it was, he was not in the closet, right?
at that very moment, he had not opened the door.
Right. So then you just said that you were going over to the
Pretty
closet
soon I'm gonna
area to get the gun, right?
The corner.
The corner, right? And as you are in that corner, he's coming in through the door, right?
Yes, as I'm beginning to step up onto the shelf.
Right, you're beginning to step up. And you're saying now that this person who's coming after you and that is angry has now given you more time, and you now have more time
Halvesy.
to get the
Half
gun
half.
from up in the closet, right?
You know what I mean.
Yes, that's correct.
But man, this is a very small closet, isn't it?
No, it's bigger than the cell that I live in.
It's bigger than what?
It's bigger than the cell that I live in. It's not a small closet.
Ma'am, we don't want to know where you live in. Do you understand that?
I'm just using that as reference. It's
Ma'am.
not small.
You understand? Did I ask you where you were living?
No.
That ain't one.
We're clear, right? We do not want to know where you're living right now. You understand that?
Okay, sorry.
No need to be. Take that attitude that.
Ooh.
Is there an issue with you with answering the questions as they're posed?
Sometimes, but I'm trying to answer them the best I can.
So is it an attitude issue with you then?
Objection, argumentative, Your Honor.
Oh my God.
Overruled. You may answer.
I don't think it is.
So this closet here is a small closet, isn't it?
No,
Objection, asked and answered.
Overruled.
not in my opinion.
Adam, I prefer Weird Al's version of Trapped in the Drive-Thru. Preferable.
It's actually about 11 and a half feet, isn't it? From the door over there to this door here, isn't it?
I don't know, but that sounds somewhat accurate. I would have said
I can't hear you.
it sounds somewhat accurate, but I don't really know as far as distance, how long 11 and a half feet is.
Well, then let's take a look at exhibit number 249.
It's 11 and a half feet. That's how long 11 and a half feet is, Jodi. Take the size of your ego,
See the measurement of the line
divide it by math,
here
and then that's
to
11 and a half.
there. See what the measurement is?
Yes,
It's 11 feet 4 inches, right?
yes.
So it's approximately a little bit over 11 and a half feet long then, right?
Trapped in the Drive-Thru.
Around that, yes.
So you're in this closet,
Oh, I'd run out of shoes.
and when you're in this closet, you reach out to get this gun, right?
Yes,
And on direct examination, you remember looking at this photograph, which is exhibit number 70.
yes,
And you indicated that the gun was up in this corner here, right?
yes.
That's a pretty high shelf there, isn't it?
No,
How tall are you, ma'am?
I believe I'm 5'5.5" last time I checked.
And this shelving, do you see that there?
Yes,
Nothing wrong with being 5'5 and a half. I'm just trying to
It goes
figure out
almost
like
to the roof. You see that?
yes,
And
she's like here.
you see the thing to the right here, the door?
yes,
It is higher than the door, isn't it?
yes,
You're saying that standing there in front of that shelf, you could, at 5'6", you can
It's
reach
always a good
up
night for
and grab that
podcasters to
top
join.
no, that's not what I'm saying.
thing. In fact, you have to get up on the shelves to do it, don't you?
Speaking
Yes, I
as a
just got up on
podcaster.
one.
Yes or no?
Yes,
And when you get up on these shelves, it isn't a situation that you can just get up with one hand, is it?
I did.
So you were able to somehow put 1 foot on one of these shelves, right?
Yes,
And without putting your hand, the other hand, which hand did you grab it with?
I don't remember.
All right, with the hand that was free that you did not use to grab, that you were able to just put 1 foot up there, grab the gun, even though you said it was way in the back.
It's just sitting right in the corner, not way in the back. There is no back because that's the wall.
Well, this is the back part right here. That's the term that you used.
Yes,
And so you're saying that it's in that corner you can, according to you, put your foot on one of these shelves without disturbing anything else
No way.
and reach out and grab the gun,
Those shelves
right?
would
That's what I did.
not hold her.
And you didn't
No
disturb
way.
anything else in that closet,
Not
right?
possible.
Nothing was disturbed, right?
No, my foot went right on the edge.
Pardon?
My foot went right on the edge.
And you didn't disturb
No way. Not
any of the
it would
shoes,
flip.
right?
It would
No.
flip.
Didn't disturb.
Have you ever like put those shelves in with like the little this closet's gorgeous. It is. But have you ever put those kind of shelves in where they have those little cheesy like metal tiny pieces that you just set the shelf on, hoping that you don't have too much weight? If she stepped in the middle, it would fall right through. If she steps on the edge, just the edge with her weight, that entire thing is going to flip this way and everything's going to move. There's no way. I call horse pocky. Yes, I call horse pocky. There's no way. I don't believe it. My kid couldn't do that. And he weighs like 100 pounds less than she
Disturb
is.
any of the pants there, right?
That's correct.
Didn't disturb any of the
Sorry, I got
ties
a
that
little
are there. Nothing was disturbed, right?
No. Yes, that's right. Nothing was disturbed.
If we take a look at exhibit
So-
number,
It's not even infuriating that she's
69.
lying. It's that she thinks she can get away with it. That's what is infuriating to me.
this
Ooh.
gives us a further out view, doesn't it?
Yes.
And it also includes the bench seat, right?
Yes.
Oh, look at the bench. That's a
Nothing is
lovely
disturbed
bench.
there, right?
That's right.
And yet you're saying that this very angry man is coming through here, coming after you, right?
Yes.
And that he is very upset about his camera and that you're able to get the gun up here, right?
That's right.
Is this the same gun that you told detective that he didn't own?
That's right.
Can't have it both ways, ma'am. Back then on June 10th
Audible
of that
gasp.
2008, you did say he did not own a gun, correct?
Yes, I did.
And no one was even consulting you about the investigation. You initiated that contact, right?
That's right.
You agree that what you are telling us today is, to be more than fair, inconsistent with that statement, right?
That's right.
And this thing or the statement about the gun, this didn't come, that you said that it involved the gun, didn't come for years until after you had been arrested, correct?
Yes, years it took me to admit it.
So the answer is yes, it came years later, right?
Yes.
Man, we've reviewed a lot of text
Give me an idea for
messages,
merch.
we've reviewed a lot of email
I don't
or
want
some email
A
correspondence.
jury
and-
of my peers.
and even your journal. And the text messages, there was some exchanges between you and Mr. Alexander that could be defined as heated, correct?
Yes.
You guys were fighting at some of these points, right?
I would say arguing yes.
Okay, arguing then, right? And nowhere in
It was
those
the
text
equivalent of me
messages does he
blindfolding
ever
myself,
threaten you physically,
spinning
does he?
around 10 times, and then pinning the tail on the ass of an ass.
No, he
And
doesn't.
that's
He
where
doesn't,
Jodi's.
does he?
That's correct.
And there's no
That's pretty
email
much what
correspondence in which he's threatening you,
Was there a
correct?
vote? If there was a vote, I don't remember. I think there was. It was a
I'm
while
trying to
ago,
think.
but that's how I feel I did it.
I know we talk about it, but there aren't any threats made.
There are no threats, correct? And
Yes.
there's no police report because you never called the police, right?
That's right.
There are no individuals that have come in to say that they saw him mistreat you, correct?
Physically, that's right.
Well, no. You're saying that there are individuals that came in here that say that he mistreated you some other way?
Objection, Your Honor, burden shifting.
Overruled.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so Dan Freeman testified, right?
Yes,
He indicated that he treated you appropriately. Didn't he say that?
he did say that. He
And
also
in
said the
fact,
opposite.
there was only one fight that he was present, right?
Yes,
This is the trip to Havasupai. Do you remember that?
yes, I was mortified about it.
Pardon?
Yes, I remember that.
And do you remember that the reason that there was a fight was that he was trying to make sure that the trip was an enjoyable one, right?
I don't remember Dan saying that.
Well, do you remember he said that it needed to be enjoyable and that you needed to take out whatever heavy products were in your backpack? Do you remember that?
I remember that's what started the argument.
Right. And you got mad at him, right?
No, he got mad at me.
Oh, so Dan Freeman got mad at you?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Travis.
No, I'm asking about Dan Freeman.
No, I've never been mad at Dan Freeman.
I'm not asking if you're mad at Dan Freeman. Dan Freeman did not get mad at you then, did he?
No, he didn't.
And in fact, he indicated he was just trying to make the trip enjoyable because these backpacks can get heavy, right?
Yes, something to that effect.
And somehow, given what Dan Freeman did, it became a fight between you and Mr. Alexander, right?
It sparked a fight, yes.
And the way you phrased it, it was Mr. Alexander's fault, right?
That time, yes, it was.
Even though you're the person who was upset at having to conform to what somebody else wanted you to do, right?
All I want you to do is send an ambulance because I'm going to bust a cap in
I
these
wasn't that
fools.
upset.
Well, you started the fight, not Mr. Alexander, like you're saying, right?
No, I took the backpack upstairs and he came in and started screaming at me.
So you your actions in no way, shape, or form, ma'am, contributed to the problems that happened that morning before you went to have a soup bite.
No, they definitely contributed.
Ain't
And
nothing
they
holy
started
about
it, didn't they?
Maybe unholy.
I didn't think we were arguing, so,
Well,
I don't know.
Your actions were the ones that started this whole fracas, weren't they?
Fracas?
I guess.
Think you mean
No,
fracas?
don't say that you guessed, man. You were there, right?
Not crazy, right? I mean, I am, but not for that.
Yes, I was there.
And you know how the fight started, right?
I do.
Yeah, and it was because you had an attitude because Daniel Freeman had gone into your stuff and removed items, right?
And boom goes the dynamite.
Overruled, you may answer.
That's not when I would consider the argument beginning.
All right, you don't consider that. In fact, though, we've looked at these text messages and we've been talking about whether or not there's any indication that Mr. Alexander threatened physical harm to you, and you said no, right?
Yes,
But you did. You threatened physical harm to him, didn't you?
as a joke, I think I did.
No,
once.
yes or no? Didn't you threaten him with physical harm? Yes or no?
I don't remember ever threatening Travis with physical harm.
Wasn't me.
ever.
Okay, let's take a look at one of the exhibits that you entered, Exhibit 443. Start at the top.
Caught me red-handed.
He says to you, it gets old when you dramatize everything. You stress me out on a regular basis. You have 27 hours and you're moaning about not making PC. You shouldn't hang up on someone trying to help you. Now you are on your own. That's what it says, right?
Yes.
That is not a happy text message, is it?
No, it isn't.
That is not a joking text message, right?
Yes.
And then you say, nor should you have to. That's your response, right?
No, that's,
That's incoming, not you.
nor should I have to. Yes.
And then he responds, and then you say after that, within seconds, I
Practice is
wanted to
like
tell
a
you something about
disturbance
today.
or a
It's
quarrel or
important
just
and time
noisy.
is of the essence, right? That's what you
Yes.
tell him.
Yes.
I wanted to watch my
He
movie, but
responds
the
to
apartment
you.
next door, there was a fracas.
Too bad. You
Something like
shouldn't
that.
have hung up on
Probably
me,
the wrong way
right?
to use it, but
Yes.
Still not a joking conversation, right?
Yes.
Still a fight or an argument via text message, right?
Yes.
And then you say, it was for your own benefit, not mine. I only wanted to tell you because I care about you, right?
Yes.
Now the mood is changing. You only did this because you cared for him, right?
Yes.
And so hanging up on him is because you really love him, right?
I guess indirectly it could be that way.
Okay, so you show love by, in this circumstance, hanging up on him, right?
If I didn't love him, his swearing wouldn't hurt his
Allowed
back, so I wouldn't
ruckus
hang up
to-
on him. So
Man.
yes.
but a couple
You
can have
hung
a
up on
fracas
him, right?
next door.
Yes, I did.
And you hung up on him because you love him, right? That's what you're saying.
I want to make sure I'm using it
I'm
right.
saying in an indirect
Yeah,
way it
noun.
could be construed that
So the
way.
answer is yes, correct?
That's not the direct
Noisy
reason.
disturbance or quarrel.
you hung up on him and you're saying that you hung up on him because you love him. Yes or
Oh,
no?
God.
Put plainly like that, I would have to say no.
Oh,
Okay.
he's a weird dude.
And then he says, whatever, Jodi, doesn't he?
Yes.
He's upset at that point, right?
I don't know.
You think he's happy there?
Rejection calls for speculation.
Overruled, you may answer.
No, I don't think that.
Pardon?
I don't think that.
Well, the first text message was at 16:53, and we understand that that's 7 hours ahead. The text message where he says, whatever, Jodi, is 16:57. Do you see that?
Yes.
It's roughly about 4 minutes later, right?
Right.
And you told us that you guys were fighting in this conversation, right?
Yes, we were arguing.
Right, during these 4 minutes that it takes to text message back and forth, right? So it's not a joking conversation, right?
Not at this point.
No. And then you answer almost immediately, I'll whatever you in the nose, Travis.
Yes.
You think that's funny, right? That's a joke.
Yeah, that was his joke that he used to say.
Pardon?
That was his joke
You
that
think
he
that's
used to
funny? I'm
say.
asking you if you think that's funny. If that's a joke.
I was hoping he would think it's funny.
Ma'am, I'm asking you if you think that's the joke.
What?
The whatever you in the nose.
Whatever you in the nose, Travis, right.
Well, that was my goal, so at the time, yeah.
So you thought it was a joke, right?
Yes.
But we're in the middle of a fight.
Yeah, I'm trying to diffuse his anger.
But that's not what it indicates there. Travis, I'm trying to diffuse the anger. I'm
Argumentative.
going to punch you in the nose.
She's already said what it indicates.
Overruled, you may answer.
Well, not if you know Travis. That would be a
Yes or no,
joke.
ma'am?
You're wrong, so that
Well, all
would
right,
be
then
no.
let's take a look at the next message. It says, I was just trying to help you. You've hung up on me several times before, even after I've asked you not to. It's reasonable that I shouldn't tolerate swearing, but again, I'm very sorry. Have a great day. You're still fighting in between there, aren't you?
No, I'm trying to ameliorate the situation.
Fight isn't over. That's why you're apologizing, right?
I guess.
Problem
it's
is,
not
I
a
got
joke,
a lot of
right?
brains, but no
No, it was
polish.
a joke.
I got a holiday.
So you say that you grabbed
every
the
word. I dropped a
gun
dollar
from-
diamond in the rough.
This area here, this is exhibit number 70, up at the top, without disturbing anything, right?
That's correct.
And so then,
You'll be back soon. You'll see.
what do you do?
Remember, you belong to me.
Right as I'm reaching for it or getting up on the shelf, he's opening the door, so I run out the other door. And he follows me and I turn and point
Well,
the
let
gun
me
at him.
stop you there. What you're saying is that you were able to get the gun before he opens the door, right?
No, it's right. It's contemporaneous with that.
So he's opening the door and you're grabbing the gun,
Around that time, yes.
okay?
Right around the same moment.
So if you're down here toward the end
Thanks,
here,
CG.
which is near the door, you
I
agree
shall
with me
remember
that
that.
the gun was near the door, right?
When I grabbed it, yes.
Pardon?
When I grabbed it, yes.
No, when it's kept up here.
Oh.
This is near the door area, isn't it?
Yes.
And you're saying that that's the time that he's opening the door to get into the closet, right?
As I'm going for it, yes.
Yes. So you have at least a 11 and a half to 12 foot head start at that point, don't you?
Yes.
And with that head start, which is the length of the closet, by the time he's opening the door, if you chose to, you could have been out this door, couldn't you?
Yes.
You chose to escalate this, didn't you? Even though you had that 12-foot head start, didn't you?
No, I didn't choose to escalate it. I was trying to de-escalate it.
And you chose to de-escalate the situation by, according to you, getting a handgun, right?
Yes.
Just like in this situation here, in Exhibit 443, you tried to de-escalate the fight by telling him, I'll whatever you in the nose, Travis, right?
Yes, except that was a joke.
Yes, yes or no?
Yes.
So then that you've now grabbed the gun, take a look at exhibit number 72. You see the closet door there?
Yes.
That's the one that you came out of, right?
Yes.
Where do you go?
Into the bathroom.
Pardon?
Into the bathroom.
This is the bathroom that we're looking at, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so you go in there, where do you stand?
In the center.
So this would be the center right about here, right?
I don't know, it's a little farther than that.
So you're even further away than this picture shows into the bathroom, right?
I'm right about there.
And you run into the bathroom, don't you?
Yes.
You're in a hurry, right?
Yes.
You want to get away, right?
I want him to not get close to me.
Well, you want to get away. That's what's going on, right?
I want him to not get near me. That's what's going
Right.
on.
And so you're going quickly, aren't you?
Yes, it was frantic.
You're not going leisurely, right?
Maybe.
Definitely not.
And so when you get inside here, you, run in here? Is that what you do?
I took a few steps and turned around.
All right. The few steps that you take, are they quick running steps or are they just leisurely steps?
Every breath
They are-
you take,
Quick steps.
every move
Like running, right? Because you want to get away from the
make.
circumstance according to you, right?
Yes, but the floor was wet and it was kind of slippery.
But you had socks, right?
I don't remember.
Well, then let me help you refresh your recollection here. Take a look at exhibit 162. See that photograph there?
Yes.
You see that foot there, right?
Yes.
That is your foot, right?
Yes.
There is some footwear on there, correct?
Yes.
That is a sock, right?
Yes.
Or are you saying it's a shoe? Which one is it?
It's a black sock.
So you run in here and you say it's wet, right?
Yes.
But
Why,
if anybody
thank
is
you,
more wet,
sir.
it's him, right?
Yes.
Because if you're talking about slipping, he's the one that's more apt to slip because he's the one that's wet, correct?
Correct.
Not you, because you are not wet, right?
Yes, that's right.
And the socks provide better traction, don't they?
Yes.
And so what you do then is, according to you, is you then go in here and then you pivot, right? Or turn around,
Yes.
right?
That's correct.
You run in here, you don't run that way. It's easier to go to the right, isn't it? Than it is to come to the center of the bathroom, isn't it?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking of left or right or forward or what. It's just getting.
It's closer to go to the right down the hallway than it is to come into this area in the bathroom, isn't it?
I would say it's equal distance.
All right, so it's equal distance in this area that you go to. And then you turn around, right, which takes some time, right?
Yeah, half
Right?
a
It does
second.
take some time to pivot, doesn't it? You have the gun. Which hand do you have the gun in?
Both.
So you have it out like this with both hands outstretched,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And so you have the gun outstretched and he's still not there yet, right? He's still in the
You
closet.
got Jack
He's
on
coming out the door
left,
as I turn.
So he's at the
on
door
the
now,
right.
right?
And
How
I'm the
far away
only
are you from the
finger
door?
of the time. Pivot,
Um,
pivot,
I don't know.
pivot.
I'm somewhere in the middle of the bathroom.
You're in the middle of the bathroom and he's standing at the door, right?
He's not standing, he's running toward me.
So he's running very fast, right?
Yes.
Almost without giving you a time to react, right? That's the way you described it, right?
I don't know. He just was running at me as I turned around.
Right. And he was really close at the time you turned around, right?
All right, everybody behave. We've got an
Um,
11-year-old dog that's barking to go outside.
I don't know. He was coming at me. He got
I
down.
understand he was coming at you. I'm talking about how close he was. He was close, right?
Pictures
He
come
was,
up, I apologize.
Closer than I wanted him to be at that moment, but I don't know what you mean by close.
Well, how close is him being closer than you wanted him to be? How close is that?
I don't know. I just didn't want him.
I understand
To
that you
get
don't
me.
want him near you, but how close is he to you? Was he as close as you and the court reporter?
Objection, asked and answered. She said she doesn't know how close he was.
Overruled.
At one point, yes, but that distance was closed.
Okay, and that distance was closed after, or the distance was closed, and then you shot him, though. In other words, he got closer before you shot him.
I think it was all simultaneous.
You think what?
It was all simultaneous.
You don't have any problem remembering this part of the event, do you?
When you break it down that much, yes.
I'm not, it's something that, according to you, you said on direct examination, I've never killed anyone before. Do you remember saying that?
Yes, I remember.
So it's kind of a highlight in your life. Wouldn't you agree? Or a low light, however you want to look at it.
A defining moment.
Right. And as a defining moment, to use your term, it's something that'll stick with you, won't it?
Yes.
And so I'm asking about a defining moment in your life, how far away this individual was when you had the gun out. The gun that you brought from Wairika, didn't you?
Objection, mischaracterized her testimony as a compound question.
Restate your question.
You brought the gun from Wairika, didn't you?
No.
So, how far away was he?
He was running toward me, so the distance varied.
Well, he couldn't have been running towards you very long, because if he's here in the breach of the door and you're right a little bit down here, that's within 4 feet, isn't it?
I guess. I don't know how long it was.
Well, then maybe if we take a look at the measurements here, it'll tell us a little bit, okay? You see that the door is 33 inches, right?
Yes.
And that's where he was standing, right?
He was never just standing, he was in motion.
That's where he went through in the breachway when you saw him coming at you, according to you, correct?
That's correct.
And the distance from here to here, and if you want, I'll show you, it's 36 inches. Do you see that?
No, where?
It's right here.
Okay.
So that's 3 feet, right?
Yes.
And if you just take that out and you stand right there, isn't that about where you told me you were? About 3 feet from the door?
No, I didn't say that. I was more in the center of the bathroom.
It was what?
In the center, more toward the center of the bathroom.
All right, if it was in the center, can you see how far this is here? Can you see if
Yes.
that's a 6 or no?
That looks like a 6.
All right, so if we go 6 and 3 feet, that's 9 feet, right?
Yes, but that's not accurate.
So you're saying whoever measured this didn't measure this accurately?
No, not the measurements.
So the wall don't correlate to where she was. He's talking apples and oranges.
Objection to the speaking objection nature of the objection.
I'm going to overrule the objection. You may restate your question.
The distance from here to here, you've told us is 3 feet, right?
Yes.
The distance from here to there is about 9 feet, right?
Objection foundation, she is correct.
On the deal, she didn't make these measurements.
Sustained.
All right. This says 6 feet, right?
Yes.
This says 36 inches, right?
Yes.
So that's 9 feet total, right?
Yes.
And you were standing, you said, about the middle of this room, right? Right about here. That's what you said, right?
A little more right around there somewhere, yes.
Right about the middle. And if we take it across, that would be where the 6 was. Do you see that?
It looks about to scale, yes.
Pardon?
It looks like it's to scale.
I'm going to object to the accuracy of the
Measurements, Judge, in terms of where he's asking her and the measurement of where she was standing.
Approach, please.
So you said that you were right here, correct?
It's a tortilla
there?
blanket.
And then he's coming through the door, right?
Yes.
And you have your hands outstretched with the gun, right?
Yes.
So that in terms of how close he is to you, that brings him the length of your arms, that brings him that much closer to the muzzle of the weapon, doesn't it?
Yes.
And he's moving fast, isn't he?
Yes, he is moving very fast.
And you said it happened very, very quickly, right?
Yes.
He's not wearing any clothing, correct?
Correct.
And he comes at you, right?
Yes.
And according to you, he is on you when you shoot him, right?
Not quite on me. I think the gun went off and then he impacted me right shortly after that.
What I'm asking, ma'am, is you have your hands outstretched, right?
Yes.
And he's coming towards you because you've already told us that you're here, correct?
Right about there.
And that he is coming through the door, right?
Yes.
And you have your hands outstretched toward facing him, don't you?
Yes.
And that he keeps coming towards you and he's not stopping, is what you told us, right?
Yes.
And in fact, according to your testimony,
wasn't me.
he falls on top of you, right?
He lunges at me like a linebacker.
He lunges at you, and that's when the gun goes off, right?
It went off prior to
Him lunging at you?
No, prior to impacting me.
So in other words, he's lunging at you and is almost on you, and then the weapon, according to you, goes off, right?
Something like that. He lunged. He went to lunge as the gun was going off, and then he impacted me.
So he's already moving sort of in the air towards you when the gun goes off, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, he was moving like for my waist.
And he comes towards you, right?
Yes.
And you keep saying like a linebacker. What does that mean?
Because linebackers kind of get down low and crouch, and then they attack, or whatever they do, and that's kind of what it reminded me of. He didn't get down with his hand on the ground, but he got down low and he impacted my torso. Like
No. I'm not asking where he impacted your torso. I want to know how he was standing, such that you can define it as a linebacker
Very
stance.
much bad behavior in night court.
Because it reminded me of a linebacker, the way he.
I understand that it reminded you of that. What was he doing?
Yes.
This was the thing. This was the issue. Which one happened first?
When he lunged at me, he crouched like a linebacker, kind of. That's why I say that, because that's what it reminded me of.
I understand that's what it reminded you of. How does a linebacker crouch, ma'am? Explain that to me. You just keep defining a linebacker crouching by saying he crouches like a linebacker. How?
He got down kind of low.
Okay, does that mean that he was all the way down on the ground? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's almost like he dove. Kind of like that.
So he dove at you and he's very close, correct?
Yeah, he was pretty close, I guess. Too close for my comfort.
And as he's diving towards you, that's when the gun goes off, right?
I think so, yes.
Well, no,
it was contemporaneous. It all happened so fast.
And you do have your hands outstretched, right?
Yes.
And from then on, you say that you don't remember anything, right?
No, I remember a little bit after that.
Well, okay. What happened to the gun?
It got knocked out of my hand.
How did it get knocked out of your hand now?
The impact.
The impact
First
from
off,
what?
thank
From
you.
Travis hitting me.
So he actually fell on top of you. He was that close that he fell on top of you, right?
Oh, your birthday.
We both fell
I
together,
totally
but
missed
he didn't
it.
fall on top of me.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear CJ's mom 55. Happy birthday to you. Thank you.
Me. I was trying to prevent him from getting on top of me. He lunged at me and hit me and knocked the gun out of my hand, and we both fell backward toward the trash can.
I don't understand. You said that you're out here with the gun outstretched, right?
Yes,
And that he's lunging towards you, right?
that's correct.
And he's looking at you though, isn't he? When he's lunging.
I don't know where he's looking. I don't know where he was looking.
You could see his face, right?
I don't recall like looking in his eyes, seeing his face.
I'm not asking you if you're looking at his eyes. I'm asking you whether or not you could see his face.
Not really, like he was kind of like.
Okay, so what you're saying then is that he is more like a bull rather than a linebacker because he's got his head down and he's charging like a bull with his head down. That's what you're saying, right?
Not quite down like that, maybe in between. That would be accurate.
All right, so he's in between here. If he's got his head down, as you tell us that he does, and you say you can't see his face, though. That's what you say, right?
No, I just don't remember whether I noticed his face or not. He was just this
An hour for you?
ball of fury coming at me.
And
And
11 minutes for
that's
me?
what I remember.
And you said you couldn't see his eyes. That's what you just said, right?
I don't remember seeing his eyes.
So that means you didn't see his eyes, right?
That doesn't mean that. It just means I don't remember looking into his eyes.
So if he's down in this position that you're talking about with his head down like that, how could he possibly know to come after you if he's looking down? How is he going to do? Feel his way around?
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustained.
He had his head down. That's what you said, right?
He was like I can just describe it as like a linebacker unless I get up and act it out, which I would like to not do, if possible.
Then do it. Go ahead. Show us how he was standing immediately
So
before,
act it out.
or how he was sitting or crouching immediately before this happened. If you could do it just from there. No. Go ahead and do it. Just stand.
Stand up, Jodi.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask that you go back to the jury room for approximately 5 minutes. We will call you back in approximately 5 minutes. Please remember the admonition. You are excused.
Got it. I liked it.
Record will show the jury has left the courtroom. Please be seated. Counsel, you may approach. Mr. Martinez, you may proceed outside the presence of the jury.
Can you just step to the left and then come
Why
down
don't you
here?
come all the way around? You may. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask that you leave the courtroom for a few minutes, approximately 5 minutes, and then we will
Oh my
call you
gosh.
back. I'm
You
going to
both?
ask that the cameras
you
stop
serious?
recording at this time.
And they're stopping to record?
Please be seated. The record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Mr. Martinez, you may continue.
Ma'am, if you would mind, stand up on the
You
left
are a meat.
and show me the posture of
Wait.
Mr. Alexander immediately before he rushed you, according to you.
As he was
No,
running.
just show me. That's what I'm asking you to do, not talk. Show me. Show me the linebacker pose.
He got
Your
down.
lawyer?
Well, show me the linebacker pose. That's what I'm asking for you to do.
Okay. He went like that and he turned his head and grabbed my waist.
Just like that, correct?
What
Pretty much.
linebacker
And
do
you
you
wrapped
watch?
your waist, right?
I can't say it's just like that, but that's what I remember.
No, just, I want, without talking, just show me the pose.
That's hedging. It's hedging.
Got down like that.
Like that?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and have a seat then. And ma'am, and you said that this happened
I think good thing they're not filled,
Right
filled
about
with
here,
helium.
correct?
She'd float away.
I don't know, it was somewhere in the center of the bathroom.
right. So how is it, ma'am, that if you are shooting him, and that's the first thing that happens, how is it then, ma'am, that the shell casing, Exhibit 111, then landed in blood?
Objection calls for speculation. She's a ballistics expert.
Overruled.
They wanted to see how it was going to go
It didn't land in
before the
blood.
jury saw it. And then she
You
was too
see
embarrassed to
Exhibit
do it in front
111,
of a bunch
right?
of people.
Yes,
And then they made
That's
her
the
do it
casing
anyway.
that was involved in this case, wasn't
Judge
it?
did it.
yes,
Make-
There was a
You're doing it
casing that was
3 different times.
ejected, wasn't it?
yes,
And when you say that this happened, there wasn't any blood on the floor, was there?
that's correct.
This was the first, if you will, blow, correct?
Yes,
And this is how the casing landed. You see it?
No, it
that's
did
not how it
not.
landed from the blow.
It looked like
Ma'am,
it looked like a Cessna.
you do
about
see
to
the
take
casing
off.
there, don't you?
Yes,
After he came at you, ma'am, and that happened, did you go down?
we both went down.
You went down on your back, right?
Yes, I went on my back.
Did you strike your head?
I don't recall striking my head that time.
Okay. So the answer is no, you did not strike your head.
Objection has been answered.
Overruled.
I don't know. I don't think I did, but I don't know.
And was he on top of you? How was he? How was it?
He landed to the side of me and was grabbing at my clothes.
Okay, so he landed to which side of you, the right or the left?
The right.
And so he landed to the right side, and now he's got this gunshot where?
I didn't know he had a gunshot.
I'm not asking you if you knew he had a gunshot. We know he did. I'm asking you, he's got this gunshot, and what's he doing?
He's very pissed off and he's trying to grab me.
And he's speaking to you, right?
He was screaming obscenities at me.
What's he saying to you after he was shot? Tell me what he was saying.
I don't remember the words.
Is it
Can't
poly
remember a
parachute
single word that he screamed at you afterwards?
No, I don't.
And he's screaming this loudly. Screaming implies that he's doing it loudly, correct?
All right, stop.
Yes.
And so
See what I
he
did there?
is to your left or to your right? You're facing up. So is he to your left or right?
My right.
That means he's toward the tub, correct?
He would be on that side, but not near the tub, I don't think.
But it would be on that side, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you're saying he wasn't bleeding at that time?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, well, I don't know. You haven't asked me anything about that.
Pardon?
I don't think you've asked me anything about
I'm asking you right now, are you saying that he wasn't bleeding?
No, I'm not saying that.
So he was bleeding at the time, right?
I don't remember seeing any blood at that moment.
So when he's down there, you don't see any blood, right?
No.
So
Thank
that,
you,
for
AJ.
example, at that point, there can be no blood in the bathroom. We can agree on that, right?
No, I don't agree with that.
There was blood somewhere in the bathroom
That was me.
immediately after you shot him, other than around him?
I don't know.
Well, you were there, right?
Yes.
You said that you ran in this direction, right?
Yes.
When he was chasing you, did you happen to see the blood over here on the left side when you were running in that direction?
There was no blood there when I was running in that direction.
And was there any blood down here when you ran there the first time?
No.
How about any blood right here where it says number 5? That's right here.
No.
So there was no blood when you
Commands
shot
aren't
him,
working.
right?
But lurk away. Feel free to hang out in the bushes with your binoculars.
Not at the moment the gun went off.
How about immediately after he was struck? Was there any blood?
I don't remember.
Weren't you looking at him or
She's good at
anything?
lying in the moment, but if you connect all of her stories,
I wasn't like examining
Nothing's
him or looking.
But you weren't looking at him?
Right after the gun went off?
Yes, right after the gun went off.
I think I closed my eyes really tight. I
Well-
don't remember seeing him. I just remember getting hit really hard and we fell.
So you remember going down and you don't remember
No,
looking at his face or anything like that, right?
Not at that point.
Well, aren't you, according to you don't know if he's been shot. Isn't he still a threat?
they were back in as soon as she
Definitely.
started.
Right, and you're not trying to get away at that point,
Quarterbacking.
right?
I was.
Well, no, you said you had your
linebacking.
eyes closed and you were just laying there. Didn't you just
She
say
wasn't
that?
doing it either way.
No, I closed my eyes, I think, as the gun began to go off.
All right. You opened them up at some point, right?
Yes,
Did you open them up when he was lying right next to you on your right-hand side?
I believe I did.
And so then you see him bleeding, right?
I didn't look at him.
So you
That's not
never
what my
looked at
first-
him, but he's cursing at you though, right?
Yes.
He's cursing at you just like he was before, right?
Maybe not the same words, but he was cursing at me.
He was cursing at you, which you say precipitated this killing, right?
Yeah,
And so then you say that you're down on the ground and he's still cursing, whatever the words may be, right?
yes.
And you're not looking at him now, right?
No,
You're not rolling away from him now, right?
I'm attempting to get away at this point.
With your eyes closed, right?
No,
Your eyes are open now, right?
I believe they are open, yeah.
And you're not looking at the source of the danger then?
How far am I driving?
No,
And yes.
You're not?
no.
Why not? If you were looking at him before, and this is the reason that this person you claim may want to be threatening you,
I'd be making
why don't you
faces
look
at
at whatever the source is? so that you can try to get away again?
I don't need to because I already know what he's doing at that point.
You think he's what?
I didn't need to because I already knew what he was doing at that point.
You already knew what he was doing at that point.
Yes.
You knew he was cursing, right?
Yes.
You knew he was right next to you, right?
Yes.
You knew he was grabbing at you, right?
Yes.
And so you just got your eyes closed and you don't even know where you're going to go.
I believe I said my eyes weren't closed at this point.
Okay, so your eyes are closed for how long?
I don't know. I just blinked hard, I guess. I don't know.
So then you do open your eyes, right?
It was the one on
Yes.
Then do you see blood?
I don't remember seeing
Also a
blood.
really
So you
good
don't even
Weird
see
Al
blood at
song,
that point then, right?
Albuquerque.
And he's still not dead, right?
Definitely not. He's very angry.
He's very angry, and this is seconds afterwards, right?
Yes.
Is he on all fours now?
He's on the side of me, grabbing at my clothes and grabbing at me.
So he's on your right side grabbing at you, right?
Yes.
Is he punching at you?
No.
Is he hitting you?
No.
Is he doing anything else?
He's just trying to, it seemed like he was trying to get control of me and I was trying to push him away and get up.
Throughout this whole thing where you are having this confrontation to him, do you ever tell him to stop? Do you ever tell him to do anything?
I think I screamed stop when I pointed the gun at him.
And when he's next to you on the right-hand side, did you say anything to him?
I don't remember.
I'm going to get away with this.
Are you saying that you're having a hard time remembering things that are happening now that you've shot him?
Yes.
So it appears then that your memory becomes faulty immediately upon you shooting him.
Yeah, things get very foggy from there.
That's immediately, the shot takes him down and it creates a fog for you. Is that what you're saying?
It begins to create a fog.
So, but you weren't struck by the shot, were you?
No.
In fact, you don't have really any injuries as a result of killing him, do you? Other than the one to your left ring finger, correct?
That's the only visible injury.
Pardon?
That's the only visible injury.
I'm talking about visible injuries, right? That's the only visible injury that you have, the one to your left ring finger. Even though, according to you, he slammed you down, right, when he got out of the shower, and then he slammed you down again when he was coming at you and you had to pull the gun, according to you, right?
Yes.
And he's also grabbing at you while you're down on the ground, and he's not being gentle about it, right?
That's correct.
No bruising, no anything other than just the thing to the injury to the left ring finger, right?
I don't know if my skull was bruised.
Pardon?
I don't know if my skull was bruised.
Aside from that, do you get medical care for that?
No.
Do you seek medical care for your finger?
No.
No, I did not. Not professional medical care.
He already knows the answer.
You do have an injury
He's
to
not
that
gonna
left ring
ask a
finger, don't
question
you?
he doesn't know the answer
Yes.
to. You don't do that.
And so when
as
you
a prosecutor.
arrive out in West Jordan, Utah, and you see Mr. Burns, you did have an injury to your left finger.
We're
Correct.
talking about two different injuries. No.
Well, ma'am, you just told me when we were talking about this killing that, yes, you injured
idea,
your
Neil.
left ring finger. Do you remember just telling me that just now, no more than 2 minutes ago?
Yes, I was referring to this injury.
Ma'am, were we really talking about this particular injury at that time?
I didn't know. You were just
Oh,
talking
no,
about
you don't
injury.
know we were talking about the killing,
Could it
ma'am?
be?
I talked
Could
about
it be?
injuries to my left finger.
What have we been talking about the whole afternoon?
Could it be?
Argumentative.
Overall.
June 4th.
Pardon?
June 4th.
Right, we haven't mentioned any other date, right?
Well, isn't that special?
You've been here throughout these proceedings and you've been answering or you've been asked questions, right?
Yes.
And as we were talking about it just now, I asked you, isn't it true that the only injury as a result of this incident was this injury to your left ring finger? And you said, yes. Do you remember saying that?
I might have, but that's not what I meant.
Well, ma'am, you did say it, didn't you?
I don't know.
And in fact, I followed it up by saying, and you didn't seek medical care. Do you remember me asking that?
I thought you meant about my
No, do you remember
skull.
me asking you that?
Yes, I
And
remember.
do you
that.
remember that you said, well, not professional medical care? Do you remember that?
I was referring to the splint Travis made for my finger.
I know that that's what you're telling me now, but the line of questioning before involved the shooting. That's what we were talking about, right?
Yes, but then you
And
went to my
Mr.
left finger.
Mr. Alexander was dead after that, wasn't he?
Well, not immediately after that.
No, he grabbed the knife that you stabbed him with, right? So he wasn't dead immediately after that, right?
Objection calls for speculation. She says she hasn't remembered.
Restate your question.
And we're talking about Mr. Alexander, an individual that you just shot, right? So it's not like we're talking about him providing any medical care for you, are we?
That's right.
You're the person who has come in here, at least we know that you've indicated that you did kill Mr. Alexander, correct?
Yes.
The only incident where this could have happened was on June 4th of 2008, right?
Yes.
So this issue of him providing a splint or splinting your finger really doesn't have anything to do with June 4th of 2008, does it?
No.
And you did say that the only injury you received was to your left ring finger on June 4th of 2008, right?
I didn't say that.
Well, yes, you did. And in fact,
No, I
you
didn't.
used the word visible injuries. Do you remember using that term?
Yes, I do.
Argumentative. She said that it's not what she said.
And do you remember that you also indicated, well, I may have had some injuries to my head, right?
Yes.
Those were the only injuries that you sustained on June 4th of 2008. And you remember I asked you about that and you said yes.
That's not how I understood your question.
She won't look at him.
So then he's down, man. And he's to your right. What happens then?
I break away from him and he screams out, "Fucking kill you, bitch."
So then, even though you've already shot him, he's been grabbing at you, he does say, "I'll fucking kill you, bitch," right?
I don't think he said "I'll." I just remember those words are in my head. He may have said that, may have not. I
Okay,
just
what are
remember,
the
"Fucking
words?
kill you, bitch."
Let's hear the words one more time so we can get them right.
I heard him say, "Fucking kill you, bitch."
Aren't these the same words that you indicated that you heard when he was doing his pirouette outside of the shower? Fucking kill you, bitches. Aren't they the same words?
Juan, you want to do that again?
I
One
don't
more
think they were
time?
the same. He was still screaming at me though when he was coming out.
So then just so that we're clear, what did he say as he's getting out of the shower?
Could it be?
As he's getting out of the shower, he called me a fucking idiot and said, "A fucking 5-year-old can hold a camera better than you."
But then when he's down after being shot, he says, "Fucking kill you, bitch," right?
After I broke away from him, right after, he screamed that out when he couldn't grab me anymore.
He's trying to grab you and he's still on the floor, but you're able to get away, right?
Yes.
I thought you said that he was this really, remember when you had the conversation with Detective Flores and you told him, well, he's a really strong guy. He's a wrestler in high school. Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
You're saying that you're able to get away from this man who's a wrestler in high school, who's very strong on the ground. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
And then what do you do?
Crack star too, everybody.
I don't really remember. I just remember, I don't remember anything at that point, so I would be speculating.
So you don't remember a single solitary thing after that, right?
There are a few little pieces that have come back since, but not immediately after. I don't remember.
Okay, what is it that the pieces that have come back? Tell me what you remember about this, whatever pieces you remember.
At one point, I remember dropping the knife and screaming.
But that's something that has come to you since, right?
Since, yes.
You
It
don't
came to me
remember
more
that?
recently.
No. All right, what else?
The others are more vague, so I'm not sure.
If they're vague, then we don't want to hear them.
Yeah.
Where were you standing when you have this recollection of dropping the knife and screaming?
I don't remember the exact position, but I was in the back
Who
of the
is
place
that
that hit the
special?
tire.
And that's all that you remember with regard to this particular event, correct?
From that point to that point, yes.
Judge, may we approach? Ma'am, with regard to the killing on June 4th of 2008, it was you that committed that murder, that killed Travis Alexander, correct?
Yes,
Nobody else was involved, right?
that's correct.
And in terms of
we're almost done.
we don't need any
Sounds like
any
the
more
end.
than the fingerprint evidence that we have. You're not disputing that the fingerprint evidence indicates that you were there, right?
That's right.
Same thing with the DNA evidence. It was you that was there, right?
Yes.
He's totally wrapping up.
Ma'am, after this shot rang
Maybe not.
out, you said that you went into a fog, right?
Yes, it began to go, things get foggy after that point.
So with regard to the camera, can you tell us what happened to the camera?
I don't remember what I
Nope.
did with the camera.
You acknowledge,
It was
though,
a
that
mistake. You messed
immediately
up.
prior to what you describe as the killing, the camera was right here in this area next to the tub, correct?
That's the last place Bruce saw it rolling. I don't know if it got kicked around or
Hey,
what.
Jodi.
I don't know.
You acknowledge that. Take a look at Exhibit 162.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, CG in Texas. Happy birthday to you.
First, let's look at the date and time. You acknowledge that this
I'm in the
says or was
future.
taken on June 4th,
Your birthday
2008
looks like it's going to be
at 5:32:16, correct?
Yes.
What time was your understanding that the roommates got home?
I didn't know.
So did you even know if they were there?
I don't remember if they were there or not at that time.
Well, do you remember that one of the things that you told us on direct examination was that when there were roommates, the two of you had to be careful in your sexual trysts so that as not to not awaken, but let the others know what was going on. Do you remember telling us that?
That's correct.
So if this was going on that day, it would be fair to say, based on what you believe, that they were not home, right?
This part of the day?
Yes, this part.
No, I don't think that would have made a difference.
What I'm saying, though, is when this happened, you believe that there were no roommates there, correct?
I don't know what time they got home. I don't know.
And you are wearing
No, it's candy.
socks, right?
Yes.
And there is what appears to be a
Happy
zipper
birthday to your doggo.
on that foot, correct?
Yes.
If we look at this further, to orient ourselves, this is Mr. Alexander's head, correct?
Yes.
Blood right there, right?
Yes.
Oh, we got started
And
late.
that's his foot, correct?
I don't know if we're
Yes.
going to finish this.
And given the way that the lights are in this particular photograph,
There's still another hour.
the bathroom
And I just looked on another
is
window.
in this direction, correct?
Yes.
That's the whole hour.
And you would agree with me that if the camera in Exhibit 249 was last seen here,
Yeah,
You
I
see
had
that?
it up to cover the
Yes.
picture, and then I think I forgot to put it back. Oh, look, it's the
and things
other
happened
photo there.
the way you say they happened, we now have this photograph that you were the one that moved that camera, right?
Yep.
It could have been us both. I don't know. Remember moving it.
Well, based on what you tell us, there's this gunshot that rings.
They are awesome. They're very awesome. They're extremely awesome. And that is why we are going to put the last hour on Monday. And then we'll move right into redirect. Our mods have been working hard all day, y'all. It's a Friday, and I'm already 13 minutes after I usually go, and here we are. Here we are. So,
Game over, man. It's game over.
It's game over tonight. It's game over tonight. And the mods in the Discord are,
And there was much
going,
rejoicing.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on a Friday. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Mods, thank you so much for being superstars always. Truly, thank you. Thanks for joining us on Recovery Addicts channel earlier on before this stream. If you missed it, go watch the latest podcast they just put out. Brandi and I were featured on it. It was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. Teresa, we're working on it. We are working on that. Is coming. And so thank you so much. And I mean,
Hello.
it's late, so let's hang up now, shall we? Take care of yourselves and take care of your family. Don't let anybody take the smile off your face. Always try and smile. And I said this earlier to somebody else. Whenever you have a conversation with somebody, start at neutral. Always seek to understand rather than condemn or presume. So that being said, thank you. I love you. Brandi loves you. The mods love you. 13th Juror loves you. You are our jurors. So thanks for showing up for jury duty. Court is adjourned. I will see you all on Monday. Monday.